Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's the finale of this homestand. The Astros taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros can have a 3-3 homestand with a win tonight. They've traded one-run decisions with the Redbirds, JD.
And tonight they're up against a big right-hander, Lance Lynn, who's yielding just a .215 batting average, so tough to get hits against this guy. But if somebody can, it's the Astros second baseman, Jose Altuve. This guy makes contact better than just about any other hitter in Major League Baseball. If you throw it in there, he's going to put the barrel on it more times than not. So difficult to defend. He hits the ball all over the field, down the line, in the alleys, and he's got enough pop where the outfielders can't cheat in on him, and he gets a lot of base hits over the infield in front of the outfielders as well. It has been fun to watch. Last 7 games, 485 for Altuve.
He hustles to first and beats out another one. Lance Lynn is his mount opponent tonight. Jay Happ goes for the Astros in the deciding game of this 3-game series next.
By the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by Columbia Pictures movie That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, in theaters June 15th. Our boys are in the booth. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Thank you, Greg. Final game of the homestand. St. Louis and Houston getting ready to meet for the finale of this second series that they have played against each other. They'll meet again in August. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. And today, every home run in this game raises $10,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Now the Redbirds, with a 29-28 record, come up with this batting order, brought to you by Hyundai. Rafael Furcal at shortstop, Carlos Beltran in right field, Matt Holliday in left. Alan Craig at first base, David Freese at third. Yadier Molina is the catcher with Tyler Green at second base. Shane Robinson plays center field, batting eighth, and it's Lance Lynn pitching.
Well, first we'll show you the bad news. In 9 starts against the Cardinals in his career, Jay Happ is 1-7 with a 6.70 ERA.
He gets strike one from Furcal.
But the good news is, over his last 4 starts this year, he's 2-2, and his ERA is 2.13. Really throwing the ball well.
Misses with that one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Furcal. Furcal 2 for 9 in this series, including a home run in the opener Tuesday night. That brings it in for a strike. It's 1-2 to the speedy leadoff man, who is tied for 5th in hits in the National League. Happ 4-5 with a 4.31 ERA. Happ misses outside. That brings the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes on Furcal. Furcal has scored 39 runs. That's tied for 5th in the National League as well.
Happ averaging a strikeout per inning pitched among the league leaders. His walk rate is down from last year.
Ouch. Off the bare hand of Mr. Chris Snyder. Ouch is right.
See that exposed right hand, catches the foul tip from Furcal. Well, let's take a look at the Astros defensively. It's Martinez, Schaefer, Bogusevic left to right in the outfield. Infield of Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, and Wallace. And you just saw big Chris Snyder get dinged up with that foul tip.
Rafael Furcal back in the box. And the 2-2 pitch will be coming from Jay Happ to him. For strike 3, he was off balance on that swing. Happ buzzed it over the outside corner to open with a strikeout.
Fastball just off the outside. Furcal figured he better take a whack at it, and he was late getting started.
Now switch hitting former Astro Carlos Beltran, 1 for 5 in this series. 275 for the season. He leads the league in homers with 15. He's 3rd in runs batted in with 42. And there's a quality pitch for strike 1. The Redbirds are 1st in runs scored right now. There's a liner to left field. JD 2 outs. Astros took the opener of this series Tuesday night, 9-8. St. Louis came back with a 4-3 win last night. Matt Holliday, who got the night off last night after starting the opener, has a little rest as he approaches this game with a 271 average, 10 homers, 35 runs batted in.
Holliday 5 out of 11 with 1 home run plus 4 walks against Jay in his career.
He looks at ball 1. Alan Craig's on deck. Strike for Jay. That evens the count at 1-1. At home, Happ is 4-3. His ERA here at Minute Maid Park is 3.83.
And that fastball in and out. His fastball command has been very good in recent starts. Velocity up a little bit over last year. He's also using his 2-seam fastball a little bit more frequently. It's fastball, curveball, slider, change. Throw both the 4-seamer and a 2. Here comes a high 4-seamer.
Foul back. The Cardinals got 3 in the first last night and then held on for a 4-3 win as the Astros stranded 13. Mike Matheny's club 3 games out, tied for 2nd, coming into play today in the NL Central. Breaking pitch in the dirt makes it 2-2. The Redbirds have gone 3-6 on this road trip. They lost 2 of 3 in Atlanta and lost 3 of 4 in New York. Astros are 3-2 against St. Louis this year. Swing and a miss, and an impressive first inning for half in 1-2-3 fashion with a couple of punch outs. No score. Schaefer, Altuve, and Lowry coming up in the Houston first. Astros come up with this starting lineup for Brad Mills, brought to you by Hyundai. Jordan Schaefer in center field, still not feeling up to par. Jose Altuve at second. Jed Lowry at shortstop. Cleanup man is left fielder J.D. Martinez, with Brett Wallace at first base, Chris Johnson in third, Brian Bogasevic in right field, Chris Snyder the catcher, Jay Happ the pitcher.
Big righty Lance Lynn for the Cardinals tonight, and boy, has he ever been good. 11 starts. He's 8-2 with a 2.63 ERA. We're getting just 2.15 against him. With a win tonight, he would tie R.A. Dickey atop the league lead with 9. Defensively, Holiday, Robinson, Beltran in the outfield. Infield, the freezing for Call, Green, and Craig. Yadier Molina has thrown out 1 out of 3.
Inside this ballpark, the Astros are 18-13 this season. They're about to leave on a 9-game road trip. On the road, they are 6-19. Jordan Schaefer said his stomach still doesn't feel that great. 256, 2 homers, 15 runs batted in, a 320 on base average for Jordan. He's not had an at bat in this series. He's 2 for 12 with 2 runs batted in on this homestand. Lance Lynn delivers strike 1. Earlier today, R.A. Dickey of the Mets became the first 9-game winner in the majors. The Mets beating Washington 3-1. Lynn is trying to join him by notching win number 9 tonight. It's 1-1.
R.A. Dickey 9-1 now with a 2.44 ERA. The knuckleballer making his bid to be an all-star. Conroy's behind the plate. Carlson, Honora, and Hernandez on the bases.
Breaking pitch catches the edge. It's 1-2 to Schaefer.
Lynn's got the 4 basic pitches: fastball, curve, slider, change. We'll use that curveball a lot more than the slider. Fastball sits right around 93 miles an hour.
Schaefer strikes out. Lynn with 64 strikeouts in 68 2/3 innings.
Wasn't supposed to be in the rotation. Got the opportunity when Chris Carpenter got hurt. Talking about making the most of an opportunity. My goodness.
Yeah. He's taking this to the bank. Ryan and Lee next to each other in the stands. Altuve, 329, 6th best batting average in the league. 3 homers, 19 runs batted in. Is second in the league in hits with 73 hits. He has been torrid. There is ball 1 running inside on him. Altuve has hit .435 against St. Louis pitching this season. He is 6 for 10 in this series. He's hit .435 on this homestand, 10 for 23. So that's a nice neighborhood to be in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Altuve.
He's been unbelievable lately.
Had a 4-hit game on Tuesday to tie his career high. The second time he's done that. He's had multi-hit games in 5 of his last 7. JD had that stat earlier. Hitting .485 in the last 7 games.
Rare swing and a miss.
This is the first time he has seen Lynn.
First time he swung and missed in this series. And only the 30th time this year.
That is amazing. Pitch outside, 2-2. Jed Lowry, who will hit next, was saying that Altuve has just that terrific type of hand-eye coordination you talked about, that he seldom does swing and miss. And I asked him if there was a comparison between him and Dustin Pedroia. He said, well, there are certain comparisons. They are both just outstanding at that very thing, getting the bat on the baseball. Lynn pops it by him and strikes him out.
Making a liar out of us.
Yep.
And this one out of the zone. 95-mile-an-hour heater. Talked about Lynn sitting at about 93, but he's got a little bit more on it here tonight. Lynn won his first 6 decisions. His first 4 games, he allowed exactly 1 earned run in each of his first 4 starts. He's allowed more than 3 runs only once all year. Last time out, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. That was in a loss against the Mets.
Jed Lowry takes a strike. Boy, he just stopped. Everything stopped there as he heard that strike call. With 9 homers, he leads National League shortstops. 23 runs batted in and a .489 slugging percentage. Puts him on top of all Major League shortstops. Fouls that one back, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Jed. Jed's 1 for 8 in this series. He's hitting .301 from this side of the plate. JD Martinez on deck. That one goes out to left center field. And Holiday's back, now backing off the wall, and Lowry has hit it out. Home run number 10 for the Astros club leader. Lowry gets his 24th run batted in. And it's 1-0 Houston in the first on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. With that home run hit by Jed Lowry, another $10,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org.
And really the difference in last night's game, the Astros out-hit the Cardinals decisively in terms of number of hits, with the Cardinals with a couple of home runs. The Astros had all singles but one. Chris Johnson triple, and that's you got to hit the ball out of the ballpark every now and then.
Upstairs to JD Martinez. There's ball 1. JD's on a 7-game hitting streak, 244 for the season, 5 homers, 32 runs batted in. During his 7-game streak, he's gone 10 for 29, 345. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the 5th home run allowed by Lynn in 70 innings. Lowry taking it out to left field. Fastball is there for strike 2. Lowry's previous major league high for home runs in a season was 9 with Boston in 2010 in 171 at bats. 2-hopper goes out to the shortstop for call. And Lance Lynn was great against the 1, 2, and 4 hitters. They had Lowry down 0-2, but Lowry hit it in the seats for a 1-0 Houston lead.
And the Astros are excited to welcome Grammy Award-winning and platinum recording artist Third Day for Faith and Family Night on Saturday, June 23rd. The concert will take place following the 3:05 game, and the concert is included with your game ticket. Tickets for Faith and Family Night featuring Third Day are available at astros.com/third. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Alan Craig leads it off in the second inning, taking strike one from Jay Happ. Craig, really a fine hitter. Checks in tonight at .366, 7 homers, 24 runs batted in. We were marveling about him last night, and why not? He's gone 4 for 9 with a homer in this series. But this is no big secret, of course, in the Cardinal organization. Mark McGwire was salivating over him a couple of years ago as he started to work with him and David Freese. And I talked with Joe Patini about Alan Craig. Fouls it back. He said, you know, all along we knew he was an outstanding hitter. He's had some problems making throws, so third base didn't seem to be the best fit for him. Does not really have a good throwing motion, but from the outfield it's okay. But he said we felt all along that he would be a big time hitter.
Yeah, for average and power coming up through their minor league system, better than a third of his fly balls have gone for home runs.
Wow. Well, he had another big game last night. RBI single in the first, home run in the third. .415 against Houston. 5 homers, 15 runs batted in 13 games. So he's taken up for Albert Pujols. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Lance Berkman, for that matter. Foul back. Still 2-2 to Craig.
Cardinals offensively have been very good this year. Even through this recent downturn, they've continued to score runs. Their pitching has been the biggest issue for them lately. There's Big Mac. Mike Matheny, things were going so well for him early on in his first year as a big league manager. Being tested now, though.
3 balls, 2 strikes. His son Tate has been working out with the Cardinals and was drafted by St. Louis. An outfielder. We'll hear from the Astros' first pick, Carlos Correa, later on tonight with Bart. There's a strikeout for Happ. That's number 3 already for Jay of the first 4 batters.
Going back to last night, the last 24 Cardinals have been retired, and a whole bunch of them via the strikeout. Norris had 12. The bullpen added 3 more, and now Happ's got 3.
.267 for David Freese, including 10 homers, 34 runs batted in. Jay Happ looks sharp. He hits the corner on that one for strike 1. Freese is 3 for 8 with an RBI in this series. Carlos Correa worked out on the field before the game tonight. No balls, 2 strikes.
How did he look, Brownie?
Oh, he looked good. You know, he was just banging out line drives. He was not trying to hit the ball out of the park.
Wow, this is impressive.
Yes, it is.
These hitters are not pulling the trigger on Happ's fastball. He's very deceptive with that delivery, and he's getting after it tonight. Continuing this run of outstanding pitching.
This is Deshaies like with all these strikeouts early in the game.
This is like Koufax.
Yadier Molina settles in at .326 with 8 homers, 32 runs batted in with an excellent start. He's late on that one.
Going to miss. These guys they're hapless against Happ.
And this is a club leading the league in total bases and slugging percentage. Over shortstop, it goes out to left by J.D. Martinez. 6 straight outs for Jay Happ and a 1-0 lead for the Astros. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Before the game, the #1 overall draft choice, Carlos Correa, just having signed his contract. Had a little workout. Spraying line drives around the ballpark, taking some ground balls at shortstop, getting a chance to meet the major leaguers. And all cameras were on him. See that one, that swing right there, JD? He hit a lot of those line drives to right center field in BP.
Just 17 years of age. So, I don't know, ETA 2014 maybe? Is that too optimistic?
Don't know. You know, the great players seem to move up quickly, don't they? Red Wallace leads it off. Here's ball 1 in the dirt. Wally 5 for 10 since joining the Astros with no homers, 2 runs batted in. He's made some nice adjustments to his hitting. And he talked about those around the batting cage tonight. That's a good heater. 1 ball, 1 strike. But he's getting himself started better and just covering the plate better, I think, JD, than he was last year.
I haven't seen enough of his, enough at bats yet to draw any conclusions. But it's off to a good start.
That's there for strike 2, 1 and 2, as Lynn pitches him tough.
Well, Lynn throws hard, plus has good movement, good tailing action, a little sinkage.
Wallace takes that one in tight. That's what he's done pretty well, too. He's taken those inside pitches off the plate. Last night he had 2 hits and he was hit by a pitch. He drove in a run. So that's a part of it. Taking the pitches he doesn't want to swing at. Recognizing those early. He lines one up the right field line. Looks like a double into the corner. Beltran over to play it. Wallace going to second. Dave Clark holding him. He's going to get back as the throw comes wide. Hold on there. A double for Wallace is second. He did stop him kind of late, though, and Brett had rounded the bag.
The third base coach has the benefit of knowing where the ball is. The base runner doesn't. So the coach can bring you as far as he wants. If he realizes they're not going to be able to make a play on you before throwing up a stop sign, it can be a little nerve-wracking for the base runner because he's not exactly sure where the ball is. As it dies in that corner, that's what allowed him to contemplate taking 3 bases. Great job there picking up the third base coach. You see so many guys running between first and second, peeking back over their shoulder, trying to find the ball as opposed to just picking up their coach.
That was a good shot of him doing exactly that. Now Chris Johnson will try to get him home after Wallace's second 2-base hit. And he taps the breaking pitch foul. Strike 1. CJ at 292 with 5 homers has driven in 26.
And that at bat right there, Wally was able to turn on an inside pitch.
Yep. That's what I think he's really improved in his hitting style. Chris Johnson 2 for 8 with an RBI, and as you say, it's a little premature to make a big deal out of it. Just a few at bats. Bogusevic's on deck. But as Brett talked about it tonight, and the count is 1-1, it was obvious that he recognized what the pitchers had been doing to attack him, and he addressed that issue.
Mike Barnett often makes the point that the second year for a major league player is sometimes the toughest year once the pitchers figure you out and start to adjust.
Liner fair into the right field corner again. This one kicks out towards center field. It's 2-0 Astros. RBI double, Chris Johnson.
CJ had a pretty nice sustained run here of good at-bats. He's really been using the other field effectively. He still will pull off that curveball every now and then. Looks like he's trying to hit it, up on the train tracks, and that's okay because he has that kind of power, and there's nothing wrong with taking that kind of a swing every now and then. But for the most part, he's had a good middle of the field, other way approach, and it's really paying dividends for him.
That's his 27th run batted in. It's 2-0 on back-to-back doubles, and Bogusevic follows. 12 2-base hits for Johnson. Bogusevic is 2 for 5 with a homer in this series. He takes, and there's ball one to Bryan. Came up with the pinch hit RBI single last night. 3 homers and 14 runs batted in.
Lynn likes to throw that two-seamer down and see if you give Bogey a little fastball, a little in, a little down. That's a pitch Bogey likes to hit. Staying soft with the breaker.
2 balls, no strikes for Lance Lynn. He was shut out. His team was shut out at New York in that last start, which he lost 5-0. He gave up 5 hits and walked 4 in 4 2/3 innings. Wallace got the inning started very nicely, and then came around to score run number 2. That's in for a strike. That makes it 2-1 to Bogey. Cardinals go back home while the Astros head for Chicago after this game.
3 consecutive breaking balls here from Lynn. See if in his mind and Molina's mind, if they feel like they've gotten Bogey off the fastball, if they'll challenge him or if they're just going to continue to throw breaking pitches. With a heater. 3 consecutive curveballs and slipped a piece of cheese by him. And you can understand why you might be a little late on a fastball, because if the pitcher throws you a 2-0 curveball, you have to figure he's going to throw you any pitch in any count at that point.
2-2 to Bogusevic. Matt Holliday very deep in left field. Struck him out. Number 3 for Lynn. Chris Snyder follows.
Just blew it right by him.
Snyder caught Tuesday night, had 2 hits and drove in 2 runs.
Seen Lynn as high as 95 with the fastball, curveball at 78.
The Houston native Snyder has 16 hits, 14 runs batted in this. And as you see at the bottom of that graphic, he has had very good production from his hits. He is 3 for 7 with 2 runs batted in against the Cardinals this season. And delivers strike 1. Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon.
What's Jimmy doing? Where's he hanging out?
He's hanging out up there on the edge of the concourse, it looks like. Ah. He's just chilling right now. Line shot left field. Dave Clark throws up a stop sign for Johnson. And it's a single for Snyder, the 3rd hit of the inning, bringing up Happ with 1 out.
Now this ballpark, you know, for a right-handed pull hitter, you're going to get some cheap home runs into the Crawford boxes, but it's going to steal some RBIs from you as well. Hit the ball this sharply to left field. Almost impossible to score CJ there.
Jay Happ will try to get CJ home from 3rd. He has 1 RBI. He has 2 hits and 21 at-bats for an .095 batting average. Jay was a pinch runner last night at second base for the injured Marwin Gonzalez. And then he was replaced a few pitches after he went into pinch run by another pinch runner, Wesley Wright. And the Astros were shorthanded. Round a bunt, and he takes strike 1.
I think what happened was, you know, they got caught by surprise when Gonzalez got hurt. Brad Mills had almost nobody left on his bench, so he knew he was going to use the pitcher. So, you know, Happ's a good athlete. He said, hey, Jay, get out there and run. And then he realized, wait a minute, that's my starting pitcher tomorrow night. I cannot afford to have him blow out. So get back in here.
Yeah. So I was joking with Jay around the cage. I said, what happened? Didn't you get a big enough lead? It took you right out of that game. He pops the bunt back. 0-2. But yeah, Millsy was strapped for personnel last night. But that was the 8th inning of the game. The Astros were trying to play catch up, down by 1. They wound up using 3 of the 4 bench players. Chris Snyder, the only one unused in that game last night. But Brad will stay with these 4 bench players through interleague play in Texas at the end of this next road trip, and then probably add a 5th bench player at that point. He'd rather have the extra pitcher for interleague play, and that makes sense.
Sure, yeah, well, especially in the American League parks when you're using the DH.
And that will be the case tomorrow night at U.S. Cellular in Chicago. Brad Mills' club is taking on the White Sox. It will be Wandy Rodriguez and Gavin Floyd. Airtime 6:30 for Astros Live tomorrow night. Happ takes a look at it. It's a ball.
That's the first place Chicago White Sox. Half game lead over Cleveland entering play today. Tribe got beat by Detroit. White Sox have a 1-zip lead over Toronto early.
There's a look at it. They're 31-25. Detroit a disappointing 26-31. After being picked by many to win the division. Runner coming. It's a squeeze, and he fouls it for the strikeout. Well, that's interesting.
That was bold.
Yeah, 2-strike squeeze play. And that strikeout number 4 for Lynn.
And not a good at bat for Jay. Took that first pitch right down the middle. Was probably the best bunt to try, or the best pitch to try to get down.
Well, last night Brad Mills tried to hit and run with the pitcher, Bud Norris, batting. So he's doing some different things. Jordan Schaefer struck out in the first.
I think because Schaefer hasn't been playing lately, he's been sicker than a dog. You know, that's part of the reason why you squeeze there too, to try to get that run home. It's very difficult to count on Schaefer the way he's been feeling. Maybe he'll come through though.
Inside ball 1, and Brad Mills was asked about that hit and run with Bud Norris, and the catcher Jason Castro was a runner at first. He said, well, I really wanted to get him to third, and I figured, you know, if he grounded out, at least I'd get him to second, but a bunt would have done that. But we really wanted to get him in motion and maybe get him to third base, because it would have been hard for him to score from second on a single if he had only reached second base. And you talked about the left fielder in this ballpark, JD. You get a sharp single to left field and you just can't think about scoring a Jason Castro.
Yeah.
2-0 the count. 38 pitches for Lance Lynn. Adam Wainwright was the winner last night. He went 5 2/3, and then 5 relievers paraded to the mound for Mike Matheny in the Cardinals' 4-3 win. And one of the quotes from Matheny in the newspaper coverage today indicated, he said, well, that's kind of what we've got right now. We're going to have to do a lot of that with the relief pitchers. In fact, they put starter Jaime Garcia on the disabled list today, and they've called up a relief pitcher, Fernando Salas. And it's a left shoulder strain for Garcia. Strike, 3-1.
Previously, they had shut him down with an elbow problem.
Yeah, that's not good. You've got one injury and then another a short time after that. Well, his velocity was down. And that's ball 4. Schaefer takes the walk to load the bases for Altuve. And the Astros have a shot at a big inning now. First walk for Lynn.
Happ really throwing the ball well. He might not need a lot of run support tonight the way he's going. This is a critical at bat for Altuve. The Astros stranded all kinds of base runners in the game last night.
Altuve struck out in the first inning. He's hit .250 with the bases loaded. 1 for 2 this season with 4 runs batted in. Altuve has hit really well with men in scoring position, period. Lowry's on deck. Jose, .341 with men in scoring position. How's it back, strike 1.
It speaks to the life on Lynn's fastball, the swings and misses you got from Altuve in that first at bat, and then that one fouled straight back. Pitches that typically Altuve's putting in play. Cracker Jacks. Probably a surprise in there. Maybe a tattoo. Little miniature pinball machine.
Yeah, it could be. Altuve's trying to tattoo one of these pitches here. Hit a gapper somewhere. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Lynn is 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA in 2 career games against the Astros, 1 as a starter. Johnson, Snyder, and Schaefer the base runners. Now it's Altuve versus Lynn and an 0-2 count. Lynn, 26 years old, from Marion County, Indiana, and the University of Mississippi. And he gets another strikeout of Altuve. That's 2 for him against Jose. And it's 1 run, 3 hits, and 3 left for the Astros. They lead it 2-0 after 2.
Of the game. Today, our progressive fan of the game is Malachi Morales, and his story is very special because he's been an Astros fan, a diehard Astros fan, since they played their very first game as the Colt 45s in 1962. He is 98 years old, and his wonderful daughter brought him here for Father's Day and an early birthday present. He'll be 99 in November.
November, yeah. That's December. November. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, do you remember the very first Astros game?
Yeah, I like it very much. I'm credible for the Astros, you know. When he lose, I lose too.
When they lose, you lose too?
Yes, right. Yeah, you better believe it.
You started listening to them on the radio?
Yeah, I started with hearing the radio, then I started TV. We decided to buy TV.
So Malachi and his family, they're big Fox Sports Houston folks because they watch every single game, and I had to sandwich myself in here between him and a Cardinals fan because they were going at it down here. I didn't want anything bad to happen. Well, Malachi, congratulations on 98, soon to be 99 great years as an Astros fan. His daughter even bought him his first Astros jersey, which you wear well.
What's his secret? How does he's so vibrant at 98? My goodness.
Jim DeShays wants to know what's your secret for being so vibrant at 98 years old.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it, you know. I credit for the Astros, you know.
Being an Astros fan is the secret.
I know, yeah. Well, the Astros, they play the same thing, you know. When you plant one plant on the ground, sometimes they fall down, but sometimes they go up again. No need rain, you know. They go up anyway. The same thing those Astros doing.
Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us, and congratulations. You are the progressive fan of the game. This is an odd night for me, Brownie, because I'm interviewing a 98-year-old Astros fan. Soon, in the next couple of innings, I'll be interviewing a 17-year-old Astros player. So, back to you guys.
Well, just tell Malachi to hang in there until Correa gets to the big league.
That's right.
First debut.
Then we'll have a story. Thanks, Bart. Tyler Green got a single. He's taking off on the pitch. It's hit in the air by Robinson. And Shane fouls it out of play for strike one.
Green broke up the perfect game. Astros were 1 out away from retiring 27 consecutive Cardinals last night and tonight. All the players would have ran on the field. And we would have, what are they doing? Hey, that's kind of freaky.
Where is that?
Outside, because they're having a schmag.
Oh, yeah, it's back behind us, isn't it? No balls and a strike. One ball, one strike with Lynn on deck. It was really refreshing to hear from Carlos Correa, who handled his news conference extremely well today with a lot of media people. He handled it in bilingual fashion, very adeptly. Says he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a strike, 1-2. He said he really wants to get out and play, did not want extended negotiations. Signed his contract today. You'll hear from him later with Bart. And he will be going out to play next week in Florida. It's been a real celebration in Puerto Rico. Foul back. It's really ironic, too, JD, that the previous highest drafted player from Puerto Rico was Ramon Castro, the catcher who was drafted first round by the Astros back in '94, I believe.
That's correct, yeah. I think he was 17th overall pick, maybe, something like that.
And Carlos is on with Milo and Brett on Astros radio right now.
We're going to find out if he's trilingual.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the Astros have signed 2 players. And if you were watching last night, you heard from the 3rd round pick they signed. Freddie Rogers is from this area, as Bart talked to him. Arizona State right-hander. So they're getting after it with the signings. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Robinson. Fouled away. Let's see what we have from Puerto Rico.
All-time hit leaders: Roberto Clemente, Pudge, Robbie Alomar, Orlando Cepeda, Bernie Williams.
Robbie Alomar wore the number 12, and Carlos Correa said, as he put on the number 12 today, he said, well, it was partly because of Robbie Alomar, but they really had the number 12 for him at the press conference because he was the first overall pick in 2012. Foul back, and it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes. These 2 teams have been playing in the same division since '94. And since then, when the Cardinals and Astros joined the NL Central, the Cardinals have won 138, the Astros 132. Correa will be playing in Florida for the Gulf Coast League team in Kissimmee. That's where he went to work out, and that was the decisive factor for general manager Jeff Luhnow when he saw his workout and saw that he was able to turn on inside fastballs from the pitchers for that Gulf Coast League team. He had a lot of at-bats in one day in the workout. In the air, right field line. Bogusevic giving chase. He's against the barrier, and it's out of play for him.
Well, that'll provide a great start for him. You know, it's low pressure baseball down there. There's not a lot of people in the stands watching those games. There'll be a lot of Hispanic kids and guys his age, just a little bit older. It should be a fairly smooth transition for him.
And he got phone calls from Yadier Molina and Carlos Beltran of the Cardinals. So he's really being celebrated. The governor wanted to meet him Monday, but he's not going to be in town Monday. Runner going, and it's foul back. He's quite a celebrity in Puerto Rico right now. And somebody asked him about the money. We don't know what the money was for his signing, but by all reports it was under the cap of $7.2 million.
I'm hearing 4.8.
Okay. We had heard it was going to be between 4 and 5, and he said, well, that's fine. He said, the money didn't matter that much to me right now. I just want to make sure my family is out of debt, and I'll make money at the big leagues. Grounder goes foul.
He just made a lot of money.
Yeah, he did. Did well, didn't he?
Yeah. And the Astros did well, too, in signing him. If that is the number, that will free them up. That will give them more resources to sign some of these other kids like McCullers, who they took with the 41st pick. And many feel like he's top 10 talent. What a haul it would be if they could get him signed as well.
Yes, it would be. 3-2. Well, according to the stories, and Scott Boras evidently is the representative for McCullers in his talks, but McCullers is prepared to go to college, according to the stories. And I believe it's the University of Florida. So he has options, and that gives him a lot of leverage in the talks. But the Astros are really going to make a strong run at him. Runner going. And the pitch was ball 4, so no need to throw by Snyder. It's first and second, nobody out now, and Lynn coming up with a chance to bunt the runners along.
After blowing through the first 6 hitters, he gets down to this, what you would assume would be the soft spot of the lineup, and Green singles, and then Robinson works a 12-pitch walk. And now Lance Lynn will be up there to try to push them both along with a sacrifice bunt.
Lynn has 2 sacrifices this year.
And before we get too far along, I fumbled a couple of hellos last night. I want to take another shot at it. Laura Strasburg, that was the name of the lady we were thinking of last night. A long-time Astro fan. And then the birthday girl was Molly Mayfield, celebrating her 40th birthday yesterday. A big fan. Was nice enough to give us a card, Browning, when we were at that.
Good.
When I was with that Schaefer yesterday at that Whataburger deal.
Bunt popped up, barehanded. Chris Johnson over to Altuve, and it's a sacrifice for Lynn, his 3rd of the year, getting Green to 3rd and Robinson to 2nd, 1 out.
Well executed there by Lynn. Pushed it down towards 3rd base. No option but to go to 1st for the out.
That brings up for Call. Call opened the game with a strikeout. For Call's a .255 career hitter against Houston. Last year he had a broken left thumb that limited him to 333 at bats for the Redbirds. Began his career with Atlanta, played for the Dodgers. There's strike 1 for Call. Half misses, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Jay, with 4 wins at home and none on the road, falls under that same umbrella that several of the Astros starting pitchers have found, and that is much better results here at Minute Maid Park than on the road this year. Has a lot to do with the disparity in the team's record, home versus road. Bunt pushed, and that'll get a run home, and it's also an infield hit as he got it by Happ. And Wallace came over. It was in that no man's land, and for Call wound up with an infield RBI single. His 27th run batted in to make it 2-1 Houston.
Oh, what a nice bunt by Call. The perfectly executed sacrifice by Lynn, and now this little push bunt. Gets the ball up about letter high, punches it out there towards 2nd base. You see the Astros back in the middle of the diamond, and no chance to make a play on him. He gets 1 home, and he also moves Robinson over to 3rd base, where he can now come home in a similar play or a sac fly. Highly unlikely that Beltran's going to bunt.
Beltran lined to left his first time up. Double play situation here for the Astros. For Call, with 9 steals and 11 tries, takes his lead. Beltran was a 2nd-round pick from Puerto Rico by Kansas City in '95. There's ball 1 to him. Tampa Bay's leading the Yankees 5-1 at Yankee Stadium. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning with David Price on the mound.
Price and Sabathia.
Oh, good matchup. It's Atlanta 2, Miami 1. They're in the last of the 6th in Miami. Martin Prado hit his 4th for the Braves. Jose Reyes, number 1 for Miami.
Look at a rogue camera tonight.
It's a nice look. Did we get some rain before the game?
Yeah, I think we did.
Pop foul, out of play for Brad Wallace. 1-2. The Astros will be gone for 10 days, and they'll return home to play the Cleveland Indians in interleague play. Be a different feel for that next homestand.
Well, you know, when you looked at the interleague schedule, it's that, hey, the Astros are catching a break, playing the White Sox and Cleveland, 2 clubs that weren't expected to do much, but they're atop the AL Central.
Pitch inside 2-2. That homestand starts with Kansas City on June 18th through the 20th, then Cleveland over the weekend, 22nd through 24th, then San Diego for 4.
Kansas City would be a fun club to watch.
Yes.
All that young firepower they have, they score a lot of runs.
Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer. Fly ball right field. Bogusevic with the runner at third, tagging with 1 out. And that's going to tie it 2-2 on the sac fly by Beltran. His 43rd run batted in.
That RBI opportunity was there for him because of the push bunt by Furcal. So, excellent baseball by the Cardinal leadoff man. Driving one home with a bunt and then setting up Beltran to get another one home with a fly ball to right. Furcal had gone back and tagged. If he sees this ball headed home, he would have gone to second base. Bogey obviously fully aware of that. Threw the ball into second. Had no real shot at Robinson at home.
It's Matt Holliday who struck out in the first inning. Taking ball 1. Cardinals are 9-7 against lefty starters. It's Boston 6, Baltimore nothing. Bottom of the 5th. That's an interesting series with Boston at 500, 28-28. Baltimore 8 games over right now. Ryan Mattis lasted only 2 for the Orioles. Clay Buchholz on the mound for the Sox. 2 balls, no strikes.
Very aggressive with the fastball first time through the order. Now figuring the Cardinals may have better chance of catching up with that heater, having seen it one time around. He's trying to mix in more breaking balls and changeups.
2-1 to Holliday. Ryan Ludwig and Jay Bruce have homered for the Reds. Bruce is 13th of the year, but the Pirates lead it 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th at Cincinnati. It's 3-1. Happ has lost 5 straight starts to the Redbirds. Overall 1-7 with a 6.70 ERA against the Cardinals. He lost to Lynn here at Houston just about a year ago, June 9th last year. And now he walks Holliday to bring up Alan Craig with 2 on and 2 out. After buzzing through the first 2, retiring 6 in a row, he gave up a single to Green, walked Robinson, then a sac bunt, then the push bunt, RBI single by Furcal, and a Beltran sac fly. That brings out Doug Brocail.
And that outside corner to the right-handed hitters that he was commanding early, he's just leaving some pitches off the plate there. Didn't want to give in to Holliday once he fell behind him. He's going to start fresh with Craig, and that's the problem, though. Craig also a very dangerous hitter. The key now, as he moves through this middle part of the order for the second time, if he can find a way to get ahead with something maybe other than a get-over fastball, a little slower curveball, or if he can paint that corner down in a way, maybe have Snyder set up on that outside corner a little bit, see if he can steal one from the umpire out there.
Craig hit a home run last time he faced Happ, and he has 2 career homers off Jay, going 5 for 8 against him. There's strike one, quality pitch, but Jay struck him out in the second.
First pitch change up there, perfect spot. Maybe just a hair off that edge, but that's a good pitch.
Mike Matheny has hitters in this lineup who have been very successful against Happ. In the air, foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Mike in his first managing assignment at any level. Toronto leads 3-1 after 2 over the White Sox at U.S. Cellular. Jake Peavy on the losing end in the early going. Alan Craig was an 8th round pick in the 06 draft. Jeff Luhnow came over to greet several of the Cardinal players he had known so well. Jeff got his World Series ring here in this series from owner Bill DeWitt, but he is not wearing it, he said. 1-2. That's the second one he's received from the Redbirds. Alan Craig played with a fractured kneecap last year. Waited till November for surgery. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He hurt that kneecap here, running into that railing outside the right field line.
I don't think Happ's intention was to come that far up with that fastball, but not a bad idea. He's been working mostly away with his fastball. Not a bad idea with all these right-handed hitters in the lineup to straighten a hitter up and remind them that he's willing to come hard in. Take away a little of the comfort factor.
Yep. And missing away there, he goes to a full count. A freeze on deck. Happ has thrown 60 pitches in this game. Bud Norris gave up 3 in the first last night, another in the third, but wound up going 6 innings. Didn't walk anybody, and he fanned 12. First Astros starting pitcher with that many strikeouts and no walks, and Shane Reynolds. 3-2, 2 outs, runners go, and it's hit up the right field line. Bogusevic's running out of room. It's out of play for him. Not for him, though.
There I was, and then I looked up, and there was the ball.
He is dead to this game for the rest of the night. That's all he's going to care about from this point on. He's become a celebrity. And the runners go again on 3-2 with 2 outs. Broken bat pop up. Altuve out. It could be dropping for a hit. It's in there, and the Cardinals will take the lead. Craig gets his 25th run batted in, and the Cardinals lead at 3-2 on the broken bat pop fly single. For call scoring, Holiday going to third.
That's just awful. It's a terrible turn of events that this turned out to be a base hit. Shatters his bat. He worked so hard. He's thrown a lot of pitches in this inning. You induce that weak contact and think, okay, I'm finally out of trouble. Go back into the dugout, and instead it drops in. One comes in. You're back in that same old first and third situation. You got to start fresh with another dangerous hitter.
David Freese, who struck out looking. Yeah, it's not as if they've been ripping the ball.
No, man, they made a lot out of a couple sacks. One single by Furcal. That flare. Green had a legitimate hit to get things started.
His 37th pitch of the inning is fouled back by Freese, and it's 1-1. Matt Cain of the Giants won his 7th today, winning 8-3 in San Diego for Jason Marquis. It's 2-1. Cardinals have sent 8 batters to the plate here in the 3rd inning. Reiner Cruz is warming up for Houston, or about to start warming up. Yeah, he is throwing now. Buster Posey hit his 7th homer today. He swung, and it's 2-2 on Freese. Milwaukee scored in the 10th and beat the Cubs. There's that swing. 4-3 Milwaukee. Axford the winner. LaHare hit his 12th for the Cubs. Aoki hit 2 for Milwaukee. Swing and a miss, and that ends it. But the Cardinals take the lead with 3 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2 in the 3rd inning, and they're up 3-2.
Center making cancer history on this date, 1967, in what was then the biggest win in team history. The Astros crushed the Cardinals 17-1. Bob Ospromani went 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs. Bo Belinsky got the win. And Claude Ramon went 3 1/3 for the save. June 7th, 1967. Guys?
Hey, Greg, Al Roboski, who works next door for the Cardinals on TV, said that they're considering changing the save rule next year. That would make things interesting, JD. I know you probably would be in favor of that.
Yeah, I think the save is a real cheap statistic.
Al Roboski is certainly in favor of a change in that direction.
I wonder what they would do to it, though. I mean, obviously, we know that it is pretty easy in some cases, but I wonder what changes they would make.
He didn't say. Jed Lowry leading it off. He homered in the 1st inning to left field. But here's what I'd like to see. Here's ball 1. Not that we would be considered on this, JD, but a pitcher must face the potential tying run at the plate to get a save.
Get rid of the on-deck stuff and the
right.
That's one start I agree with.
And the 3-inning save in a blowout, that's kind of silly.
That needs to go. Fly ball center, Robinson back. What have you really saved if you come in with a 10-0 lead after 6? 1 down. Al was talking about Wesley Wright being used as a pinch runner last night. And, he ran for Jay Happ, who had been used as a pinch runner for the injured Marwin Gonzalez. And Al said, that caught me by surprise one time. I was warming up, and the call came down the bullpen, and the question was, are you ready to go in? And he said, what are you talking about? I've got another half inning here while our team bats. They said, no, you need to go into pinch run. He said, after that, I started warming up earlier if they were going to use me as a pinch runner. J.D. Martinez grounded out earlier. There's strike 1.
Hungo could do it all.
Fred Wallace on deck. Lance Lynn missed with that one. 1-1. Lynn has had great run support. 6.98 runs per 9 innings, tying him for the best in the National League so far. Not that he hasn't deserved the 8 wins. His ERA is 2.63. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball clocked on a line to left. Holiday. 2 outs. Well hit ball by JD.
Where's the justice? Craig's ball's a knock, and that's an out. That's horrific. Great swing.
He squared that. Two down, and it's Brett Wallace now. He lined a double to right field. Speaking of the justice, in that Clemens trial, sounds like Rusty Hardin and the judge got into it yesterday. There's strike one.
What happened? They yelling at each other?
Pretty much, yeah. The way it was reported anyway. They were having heated words with each other.
I'll make a good movie someday.
It might. 1 ball, 1 strike as Carlos Lee comes back from a hamstring injury, getting treatment. Currently on the 15-day disabled list. And he is improving. Ooh. That's a very good placement of that off-speed pitch. 1 and 2.
Well, Wallace showed the ability to get to that hard stuff in last time, and Lynn counters with a nice changeup.
Sure did.
Brett was smirking about halfway through the swing. He knew he had been had.
And again, he got it and struck out. So, in the 3rd inning, that takes care of strikeout number 6 for Lynn, and he maintains a 3-2 lead.
We move to the 4th. Join us for the next Flashback Friday on June 22nd as the Astros host the Indians, featuring the 1970s rainbow jerseys on the field. 10,000 fans will receive a Craig Biggio Greatest Moments bobblehead, courtesy of Coca-Cola. And then after the game, all the fans can enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil. Buy tickets at Astros.com. You know, when the Astros are in Chicago, it's a shame we can't get the Stros and the White Sox to both do the flashback uniforms from the 70s. Huh, guys?
That'd be fun.
Yeah, break out the shorts.
Shorts, absolutely.
Yeah. Harry Chappas in the shorts. That was ball 1 to Yadier Molina. He hit a fly ball to left.
Yeah, those big, wide kind of lapels.
That was a different looking uniform for sure. 2 balls, no strikes. It's 3-0 to Molina.
He Exactly how J. Happ did not want this inning to start, an opportunity to come back and reestablish command of the strike zone, and he's misfiring here to Molina.
Molina was hit by the bat on that Wallace strikeout to end the inning. Fouls that one back with a 3-0 swing.
The fact that they allow Molina to swing 3-0 tells you about how far he's come as a hitter. And there, on the way back through, he got clipped a little bit.
Like a sword fight. That's ball 4. Molina takes the leadoff walk. Third walk for Happ. Let's go to Bart.
Hey Astros fans, Chevrolet is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Guys?
Thank you, Bart. Tyler Green hit 2 homers last time J. Happ faced him earlier this season. He singled and scored to start that third inning rally. Strike one to Green.
You can't forget about Molina as a base runner either.
He's 5 for 5 in steals. Green's 28 years old. He was a first-round pick in 05 from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Georgia Tech. It's in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-1.
Snyder cat-like pouncing on that ball.
Yes.
Shutting down any opportunity for Molina to advance.
Tyler Green, another of those homegrown Redbirds who's been bothered by injuries. Good athlete. 2 balls and a strike. I think the feeling is if he would ever get 500 at bats, the numbers would be good for him. Never had more than 108 at bats in a major league season. Fouls it back 2-2. Daniel Descalzo was playing second last night. He made a heck of a play on that throw to the plate. A throw that got away from Man Adams, and then Castro was waved home by Dave Clark, and Descalzo threw from foul territory way beyond first base to get him. That's ball 3. Now the runner goes and Snyder drops the ball. Molina is able to get to second base. Wild pitch.
This time Snyder not able to contain this pitch, and Molina moves up into scoring position.
Third wild pitch for Happ this season. Now it's a full count. And foul back. R.A. Dickey went to 9-1 with that 3-1 win for the Mets at Washington, beating Chin-Min Wong. Frank Francisco got save number 15.
I think it would be fun to have a knuckleballer start the All-Star game.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Where you let Chapman start it and then have Dickey come in behind him.
Oh, backhanded Chris Johnson. He straightens up, rifles a throw to Brad Wallace, but good base running by Molina. He goes from second to third on out number 1.
Green runs well, so CJ did not have a lot of time to look Molina back and still feel confident that he could make the play on Green. As he backhands his ball, he's got a long way to go. One look at Molina may have shut him down, but he just didn't really have time to do that and still be sure he was going to get his man at first base. A good base running. You see Molina keeping his eye on CJ, and as soon as he cuts loose, he's off and running.
Now he's at third, and the infield comes in with 1 out for Shane Robinson, who walked and scored earlier. Now Molina has a walk. He took second on a wild pitch, took third on a ground ball.
Much for the slow-footed Molina brothers, huh?
Exactly.
So he can move around the bases a little bit. Now that's a play right there. If CJ comes up and pump fakes to first, Molina's dead. But as an infielder, you just don't know what that guy's doing over there.
True.
If you pump fake and he's standing on second base, well, it's not so good.
Robinson fouls it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Molina very aggressive that time as he took his lead off third.
Pitcher on deck, the infield cheating in. You can understand that the Cardinals might be contemplating a squeeze here.
He got a nice walking lead, and then he was about a third of the way to the plate by the time Robinson made contact. Bouncer back to Happ. Checks Molina. Takes care of the out at first. 2 down. And it's Lance Lynn batting. Lynn hit the sac bunt, or dropped down the sac bunt in the 3rd inning. Oakland beat Texas in Oakland 7-1. Brendan McCarthy going to 5-3, beating Yu Darvish. He's 7-4. Rangers and Astros will play soon in Dallas.
Seems like the A's have been beating the Rangers a lot lately.
It really does. Let's see.
Rangers won last night, but the previous series they played, Oakland scored a ton of runs against them. Rangers put Derek Holland on the disabled list today.
Well, they can't get Roy Oswalt too soon, can they? Because Scott Feldman has not been the answer in their starting rotation. But Roy's going to need more time. Lynn strikes out. That ends the Cardinal 4th with no runs, no hits. A man left. Strikeout number 6 for Happ. 3-2 St. Louis.
Jack in the Box. Right now you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo. The all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And Bay Brake Check. We do it right for less. Well, between innings, Brownie, the Astros got to cheer somebody, didn't they? The fans.
Yep. Carlos Correa, first-round draft choice, signing today and being introduced tonight. A whirlwind trip to Houston.
Carlos is joined by Astros General
Standing
Manager
ovation from
Assistant General Manager of Scouting
many of the faithful here at Minute Maid Park tonight. Giving a glimpse at what we hope will be a mainstay in the Astros lineup for a long, long while. At just 17 years of age, so the Astros doing a nice job here drafting and signing young, high-ceiling guys. George Springer, last year's first-round pick, is on his way. Singleton acquired in the deal with the Phillies. Scouts rave about his bat.
That was a shot of Carlos's family there in the stands. Chris Johnson takes ball 1.
This could be the next core, the next group to come along. They'll carry this club.
The young man on the far left with the Astros cap on is Carlos's younger brother.
Sign him up too. Has he got game?
Don't know. Looks good wearing that though. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's 2-1. You know, earlier we talked about him, JD, and then we had to go back to doing the game. But I can't remember the last time the overall first pick signed right away after being drafted. Can you?
No, I don't recall the last time it happened that soon.
Been a while, I think.
Well, the dollars have come down, and the fact that players can no longer sign major league contracts, and they've tightened up the signing time too. The deadline has been moved up.
I think it's really going to be helpful that Carlos is going to be playing ball next week. Johnson, whoops, he was on his way to first. Come back with a 3-2 count, please.
Well flummoxed, dropping the bat. See number 5 there on the outside corner. That's when you quickly want to tell the umpire, hey, not trying to show you up, just thought it was outside. I'm sorry, my bad.
Fastball hit in the air, out of play. Chris has been walking more lately. He has 12 walks this season. David Freese picks it up on the short hop. It turns out to be out number 1. Ball hit sharply by CJ. Right at Freese, though.
Yeah, if the name of this game wasn't how many runs can you score, but how many balls can you hit hard, the Astros are winning.
Yeah. AT&T has trivia. David Freese tied the MLB record with 25 hits in the postseason. With what 2 players, including a former Astro, did he tie?
Well, Billy Hatcher had a heck of a World Series for the A's back in 1990. I don't know if he had 25 hits in the postseason.
The Reds, yeah. Bunted by Bogusevic, and it's foul, strike 1. Let's see. Well, Terry Poole had that great postseason, but that was only 1 series in 1980.
Yeah,
so
it seems like it'd be more the modern era with the 3 rounds.
How about Carlos Beltran?
Beltran, yeah. He had 2 rounds.
It was not Carlos Beltran, we're told. "25 postseason hits." So we're guessing that had to be for a World Series team to have the 3 series.
How many did Lance have?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So neither one of us knows. Foul back. I was just thinking of the 05 Astros. They didn't have anybody with 25 hits in that postseason. Pretty sure they didn't really hit all that well.
No.
1-2. In tight to Bogey. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
How about Darren Erstad?
Okay. 0-2 Angels. In tight. He checked his swing on appeal. That's verified by Angel Hernandez. And the count runs full on the 2nd straight batter for Lance Lynn.
Well, see if he tries that changeup he got Wallace with back in the 3rd. Nope. Looks like they're going heater in.
And it's strike 3. 7 strikeouts for Lynn.
Bogey swinging through a fastball last time, and now he busts one over the heart of the plate, but down at the bottom of the knees. Maybe Bogey was thinking about those changeups he threw Brett Wallace. Well, who are these 2 former Astros?
Marquise Grissom Oh, one was a former Astro.
One was a former Astro.
Okay, we kind of missed the point on that. But you got Darren Erstad. Now it's Chris Snyder. He had a line single to left field. First time up. We're going to say that we really didn't miss that because we misunderstood the question.
We didn't focus on the question.
That's our excuse.
The teacher would say, hey, kids, there's no excuse. Read the question.
Well, okay.
Prepare.
All right. They got us again. One
well,
ball, one
speaking
strike.
of high-ceiling kids, Delano DeShields, another. I see Grissom, I think of DeShields. He paired at the top of that Expo lineup for a number of years.
Right.
Delano Jr. doing a nice job down in A-ball for the Astros. Stealing bases like crazy.
2 balls and a strike.
Not hitting for much power, but he's drawing a lot of walks. Has a high on-base percentage.
In the air, right field line. And foul back toward the seats and into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Waits is having a good year. Corpus Christi, second in the Texas League in hits and 8th in batting average. Jonathan Singleton is 4th in the Texas League in runs batted in, 5th in OPS, and 6th in homers. Did you see the Austin Waits catch when he went over the wall in left field?
That was amazing.
He and the center fielder, Brandon Barnes, both went over the wall. That's on YouTube. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Oklahoma City Redhawks are going for a club record 14th straight home win tonight. They play New Orleans and Oklahoma City. And overall, they have an 8-game winning streak. They're currently in first place in their division of the PCL with a .603 percentage. Rolled out to second. Tyler Green throwing out Chris Snyder. It's a 1-2-3-4. That's 7 straight outs for Lance Lynn. And a 3-2 Cardinal lead through 4.
What do you drive? Tomorrow night, the Astros head to the south side of Chicago to start a 9-game road trip. It's interleague play against the White Sox coming your way here on Fox Sports Houston. Wandy Rodriguez trying to bounce back from a rocky start, not against Colorado, but against the Reds. He went 5 innings in that one, gave up a season-high 9 runs, 7 of which were earned. That was the exception. The rule has been very good. He's 4-4 with a 14 ERA. Second career start against the Southsiders. He will go against Gavin Floyd. Our coverage begins right here on Fox Sports Houston at 6:30. That's been your Mazda Game Break. Brownie, JD, back to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Then Saturday afternoon, it's Jordan Lyles and Chris Sale. After Wandy is the leadoff man for the Astros on this road trip. And Sunday afternoon, Lucas Harrell, formerly with the White Sox, faces Philip Humber of Rice University and of Perfect Game fame earlier this year. Jay Happ has struck out 6. He's walked 3. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs. Rafael Furcal taking ball 1. He has a bunt RBI single. Now he slams one foul, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He's in the right spot. Dodgers swept a 4-game series in Philadelphia. Aaron Harang getting his 100th career win today to go 5-3, beating Cole Hamels, his 8-3. 2 balls and a strike. So Hamels could have joined R.A. Dickey as 9-game winners, and now Lance Lynn trying to do that same thing.
Dodgers with the best record in Major League Baseball, 16 games above 500.
That's a liner foul. They've been so good at home, and this has to be very encouraging to Don Mattingly after losing Matt Kemp again, that they're
who needs Kemp?
Yeah,
I'm fine without him.
4 games in front of San Francisco. The Arizona club with some real problems. Under 500 right now. Fly ball out to center field, and Schaefer waits. 1 out. Justin Upton has been benched recently. Stephen Drew hasn't been able to return. Some thought that he should be back by now, and there are other issues on that ball club. Carlos Beltran line to left and hit a sac fly to right. He hits one a long way to left center field. That ball's crushed. A Beltran homer. Number 16 for the National League leader goes out to left center field, and the Redbirds lead it 4-2. That's his 3rd career long ball off Happ. With that home run hit by Carlos Beltran, another $10,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or visit www.pcf.org.
They line up in single file in the Cardinals dugout. I don't know if that's a Beltran thing, or who knows. That was a no-doubter. So good from both sides of the plate.
And Matt Holliday fouls it for strike 1. Well, Beltran now with 16 homers, 44 runs batted in. Part of a hard-hitting Cardinal club, leading the league with 72 long balls. Line to right field. That's in for a hit. And the Cardinals did not hit the ball well in their 3-run third, but here in the 5th, it's a different story. Alan Craig comes up. Craig with the RBI single in the 3rd inning, 1 for 2. David Freese is on deck. That's a high flyer to left center field. Schaefer all the way back to the track, and he snags it right in front of the bullpen wall. He reached way out, and that took care of out number 2. That was close to being off that fence.
And it gives you an idea of the strength of Alan Craig to hit a ball that far, that high. Fastball down, and he unloads on it. He had a little slicing action on Schaefer as it kind of cuts back the other way on him. He finds that little cutout area and finishes it off.
David Freese comes up. He has whiffed both times.
Schaefer was battling illness. Who knows how many baseballs he saw when he looked up. He picked the right one.
Sure did. He had that post to contend with after the long run. Happ misses low with that one. Falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes.
Earlier in the game, he threw that up and in fastball on Alan Craig, and I said, you know, it was a good idea to do that. And I think he could do a little more of that. That'll open up that outside corner. Guys won't dive as much on him. Get away with a few mistakes out there, too. If hitters are a little wary to go out and cover that outside corner, you get away with more mistakes.
Yes. 2-1. And all too often in today's game, pitcher does come inside. It'll be once per at bat, not more than once. David Carpenter's warming up for Houston. And a swing and a miss takes it to 2-2. Some people say, well, don't just come in one time, because the hitter's going to think, well, that's it for this at bat. I'm going to look away again.
You can go way in for effect, and you can also go in to try to get outs, try to tie hitters up. That's a good one in.
3-2.
So now he can't go that far in again for fear that he'll walk him. If he's not afraid to walk him, maybe you can jam him in there. Punched him out twice already. Once looking, last time swinging.
Snyder wants it down and in. Right there, but it's ball 4. He's looking back. There was some hesitation on the part of Holiday, who wasn't going to second. And now a couple of 2-out base runners are aboard for Molina.
Took a shot in there, and Freese not swinging. Just a little bit out the inside corner. Seemed to be some confusion on the count.
That's the 4th walk. Now 100 pitches for Happ. He had a long 3rd inning. Molina has flied to left and he's walked. In the dirt for ball 1. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Holiday, the runner, he had a 1-out single, and then after the Craig fly ball, it was Freese walking. That's ball 2, and it's 2-1 for Jay Happ. Happ last year was 6-15 with a 5.35 ERA. It's 3 balls and a strike. He retired the first 6 in this game.
He's able to get the jump on the Cardinal hitters early, throwing strike 1 and then getting them to swing at his pitches just off the edges. But lately they've been more patient. Got many swings at his changeup, swings and misses for sure. There's one.
3-2 to Molina. 2 outs, the runners will be moving. Lowry's coming in to smooth out a spot in front of where he's playing at shortstop. Happ has a 2.13 ERA in his last 4 starts, but struggling in the 3rd inning and again here in the 5th tonight.
Well, it doesn't walk much.
This time he does. That one wasn't close enough to entice him, and it's the 5th walk for Happ.
The 13th free pass Molina has drawn this year. Brad Mills going to make the move.
And Jay just looks out of sync. He's at 106 pitches, 64 for strikes. 5 walks, 6 strikeouts for Jay tonight. And David Carpenter ready to make the move on into the mound from the Astros bullpen with the score St. Louis 4, Houston 2. Back in a moment. and David Carpenter. He's 0-2 with a 5.40 ERA.
Well, Carp worked in game 1 of this series. The game where the Astros had the comfortable lead, had to hang on to win 9-8. He worked a third of an inning, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs. Really tightened things up.
Now he comes in with not much room for error at all. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Tyler Green the batter. Green is 1 for 2.
David's made 5 appearances since coming back up from the minor leagues, and he's been scored upon in 4 of those 5 outings. So he's looking to get things turned around in the right direction. This will be a good start.
There's strike 1 as Green waves at it.
Astros down just 2 here in the 5th inning. But you don't want to give Lynn that much more of a cushion. Their bullpen has been a little spotty, the Cardinals.
Foul tip, 0-2. Yeah, they're 14th in bullpen ERA. And Holiday's the runner at third. It's David Freese at second. Yadier Molina at first. No balls, 2 strikes for Carpenter. Not biting, and it's 1-2 on Green.
3 consecutive sliders away. Strike 1, strike 2, and then one a little further out and down, and Green able to lay off of it. Seems like that had him set up to come in on his fist with a heater. Staying away.
And he got him. Struck him out with the bases loaded. It's 1 run, 2 hits, 3 left for the Redbirds. They're up 4-2.
Bottom of the 5th coming up. Cardinals on top 4-2. The Astros will wrap up this series against the Cardinals tomorrow before a 9-game road trip. Then they will return to Minute Maid Park on June 18th for a 10-game homestand and interleague series against the Royals June 18th through the 20th, and then the Indians June 22nd through the 24th. Root now and buy those tickets at Astros.com. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. There's the Correa family. Carlos, the Astros' #1 pick, headed out next week to Kissimmee, Florida for the Gulf Coast League team. Watching as David Carpenter stays into bat and lead it off after relieving Jay Happ. There is ball 1 to the converted catcher, drafted by the Cardinals in the 12th round in 06, and then moving to the mound. First career at bat for David. Lance Lynn gets a strike call there. 1-1.
Carpenter, Brownie mentioned starting his career as a catcher, so you know he's relishing this opportunity to swing the bat.
And he breaks the bat and gets a hit out into right center field on the broken bat by David Carpenter. A little inside-out swing. The barrel went flying, but he's on with his first major league hit on the broken bat. Oh, a nice bonus for Brad Mills. His reliever stays in the hit and leads off the inning by doing that.
Yeah, I wonder how many total at-bats and total hits there will be by relief pitchers this year.
Oh.
Not many.
No. Special moment for any player, especially a guy who hardly ever gets to hit.
Yeah. I can tell everybody, see? Could have hit in the big leagues.
Mike Acosta and the Authenticators have grabbed that bat. Jordan Schaefer has struck out and he's walked. There's ball one. By the way, that's a new series coming soon. The Authenticators.
Dum, dum.
To be followed by the Regulators. Freezes in tied at third. Double play depth for Colin Green.
They'll be doing forensics on that bat. It looks like a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Jammed him. Jordan Schaefer has a lot of infield hits this year. Matter of fact, 24% of his hits are infield hits. Only Bonifacio of Miami and Gordon of the Dodgers have a higher percentage of their hits on the infield.
Interesting. I think only 3 or 4 of them are bunt hits, too. Fouls that one away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jordan has 57 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's really struggled, especially against lefties. Punched out about half of his at-bats against left-handed pitchers this year.
Altuve's on deck.
But this is a righty. Got a 2-1 count.
Well, showing bunt there. He takes a strike. 2-2 now. That's Greg Lucas's home down there on the outfield side of the Astros dugout. Struck him out. That's number 8 for Lynn. It's time for the Farmers Insurance report card. Let's see if we get an A, a B plus, C minus. Oh no, it's Jose Altuve leading all second basemen with a .326 average, 73 hits, and 25 multi-hit games. And he's 5th in All-Star votes. He's whiffed twice tonight against Lance Lynn. Each club with 5 hits, no errors. This one goes to right field. Beltran there. 2 down. And Brett Lowry will come up. Or Jed Lowry. Jed Lowry homered in the first and hit a fly ball in the third.
It'd be nice if he popped another one here. Let Carpenter jog around the bases.
Jed took an 0-2 pitch to the left field seats to give the Astros a 1-0 lead in the first inning with 2 outs after Lynn had struck out Schaefer and Altuve. Then he hit a fly ball to center in the third.
We've been making the case for Altuve and All-Star votes. You could actually make a more compelling case for Jed Lowry. He leads all National League shortstops in OPS and home runs.
One and one. Yeah, they've been scrambling back through the years of club history to find a more dynamic offensive double play duo. Go back to what? Dickie Thon, Billy Doran?
Probably.
That was a good one. In the air to left. Holiday's waiting. And in the fifth, it's no runs a hit and a runner stranded after 5. Cardinals lead the Astros 4-2. Sixth inning. We look ahead to tomorrow night in a different locale. The starting pitchers at U.S. Cellular will be Wandy Rodriguez and Gavin Floyd, brought to you by Chevron. Wandy 4-4 with a 3.14 ERA. Gavin Floyd 4-5 with a 5.32. 6:30 tomorrow night on FS Houston for Astros Live. We were talking to some people who have been in U.S. Cellular quite a bit more than we have. We've only been there for what, a couple series, JD? The World Series in 05 and I think one other.
Yeah, we went there one time at least for interleague play.
Yeah, maybe a couple times, but not much experience there. The ball carries extremely well there, especially when it's warm, and it's going to be warm in Chicago, you were telling me.
Last time I looked, yeah, it's going to be pushing 90 degrees over the weekend up there.
Now the Redbirds come up in inning number 6. And it's Shane Robinson first up. He walked and scored in the third. He grounded back to Jay Happ in the fourth. Happ in 4 2/3 innings tonight allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, walking 5, fanning 6. He threw 106 pitches, 64 for strikes. And David Carpenter came in with the bases loaded and whiffed Tyler Green to win the Cardinal fifth. That's upstairs, ball 1. With Lance Lynn on deck.
Big strikeout by Carpenter there to get Green to finish that 5th inning. Now see if he can keep it rolling here. It's thrown pretty much all sliders so far. There's a heater.
It's 2 balls, no strikes. David from West Virginia University, where he was an all Big East catcher in 06.
Robinson doesn't have a lot of power. He's the guy you want to attack, so this isn't so much of Carpenter nibbling, just not able to find the strike zone. Robinson drew a 12-pitch walk back in the third after Green had singled. That was the real key to that 3-run inning for the Cardinals.
You bet it was. The number 8 hitter. And then that led to that 3-run frame. Strike there makes it 3-1 for Carpenter. It's Tampa Bay 5. The Yankees 1. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Yankee Stadium. Wade Davis in the game now for Tampa Bay after David Price started. Atlanta 5, Miami 2. Top of the 9th.
The Rays had lost the first 2 games of that series to the Yankees. It's nice if you're Joe Madden to be able to hand the ball to a guy like David Price. And a big series on the road. So here, Well, shut those guys down for me, would you please?
There's another #1 overall pick. He's turned out well. Jason Hayward has homered twice tonight for the Braves, giving him 8. Giancarlo Stanton hit number 14 for the Marlins. Foul back. And right here, the league leader, Carlos Beltran, hit his 16th in the 5th inning. Cardinals will go back home, and they'll be entering interleague play as well as the Astros. They'll take on the Indians tomorrow night. Foul ball. Former Cardinal Jake Westbrook, or current Cardinal Jake Westbrook, he's a former Indian, isn't he? Facing Josh Tomlin. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Detroit beat Cleveland 7-5. Beating Derek Lowe. Jose Valverde's back. He got his 10th save. Bounced up the middle, and that's by a diving Lowry. Here's the turn by Robinson, and he takes a wide turn on a leadoff single. Hit number 6 for the Redbirds. Lowry took the dive, but Robinson found the hole to Lowry's left, and now it's Lynn in a bunting situation. He put down a sack with runners at first and second to advance them in the 3rd. He struck out in the 4th. Chris Johnson's going to get in his face. It's ball 1. Chris backed off a little bit when Lynn slid the hand down on the bat. Behind Chris, you can see that Toronto White Sox score. It's now 3-3 there after 6. Alex Rios hit his 6th home run for the Sox. 2-0.
Stage of the ball game where if you defend this bunt aggressively enough and he bunts the ball too hard, you might have a shot at Robinson at second base, but as a pitcher you got to make sure to throw a strike. Sometimes you're going to go into this at bat with the mindset, I'm going to make it hard for this guy to get a bunt down, and with that approach you don't throw it in there and you end up in a bind like Carpenter finds himself in now. Lynn will be taking all the way here.
That's a strike. 3-1. Cardinals made a sandwich. Lance Lynn was their sandwich pick in 08 after the first round of the draft. Another homegrown player, and they've been known for developing excellent players through their system. Bunted, and that stays fair. Red Wallace going to Altuve. Second sacrifice of the night for Lynn. Robinson to second, 1 out. Rafael Furcal gets the shot with a runner at second. He is 1 for 3. He put down a well-placed bunt for an RBI single in the 3rd.
Yeah, that was a dandy because he got 1 home, and he also moved a runner up to third base, who came in to score on a sac fly from off the bat of Carlos Beltran. Fox Tracks is brought to you by Steel.
Oh, he helped him by chasing that high heater. Strike 1 for Furcal. Boston blitzed Baltimore 7-0. Clay Buchholz won that one. He's 6-2 despite a 5.77 ERA. Brian Mattis was the loser. He's 5-6. in the air, foul and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 for call. Carpenter was sent to Oklahoma City for about 2 weeks before returning for the Colorado series. Didn't pitch a whole lot there. Still no balls, 2 strikes. But the Astros needed bullpen help. What do you think would be the average number of relief pitchers a major league club goes through in a season if they have a 7-man bullpen?
10?
Yeah. One and two, but every general manager is looking for depth over the winter, signing those bullpen arms. It's just a given that it's difficult for relievers to, the guys who work 60, 70 times a year. That's a heavy load. It's just tough to match one year with another if it's a good year.
Yeah, and the numbers could fool you too, because it's not the same sample size as you get with a starting pitcher who's going to go out and pitch upwards of 200 innings, so you get a real feel for what they can do over. The numbers kind of catch up when the sample size is that big, but a pitcher can go out there, in a certain role and give you 50 innings, and you say, hey, this guy's lights out, and then the next year he gets knocked around pretty good, just because with a smaller sample size the numbers can lie a little bit.
Lowry trying to keep Robinson close. They're jockeying back and forth. And sometimes a kid comes up to the minors and maybe pitches 40 times, has very good numbers. So the tendency is to say, well, let's see some more of that, but he may not be that durable. Flicked on a line over Lowry, and that'll get a run home to make it 5-2 for Call, picking up his second RBI single of the game. 28th run batted in of the year for Call.
Called to a master batsman, boy, just uses the hands to flick that one on a line into left field. It's kind of fun to watch play. He does a lot of things really well.
Had 7 hits for the Redbirds. Their leadoff man has a couple of those. Carlos Beltran has hit a sac fly and a homer in this game. Fouling it back. There's strike one.
Homered last inning from the right side, and that was a home run swing right here as he gets his first swings from the left side of the plate.
Rainer Cruz is warming up. No balls, 2 strikes. This is the 9th rubber game for a series that the Astros have played this year. In the previous 8, they're 1-7. So they hope for a big turnaround. Trailing 5-2 as Beltran bats with 1 out and 1 on. And that's a high pop. Chris Johnson coming over. Can't get to it. Still 0-2.
It's an all-star team down there. We got Rivera, Ozzie Smith, number 16 for the Phillies.
Who's that? Chris Coast? Well, the Phillies. There's got to be a lot of talk in that city with all their injuries and their struggles this year. And they send Hamels to the mound today, and the Dodgers sweep them. Rough times in Philadelphia, even though they're not that far out of first, really. Grounded. What a play, Wallace. He gets it to Lowry. No return throw. Terrific diving stop by Wallace. Very quick to the ball. We're out number 2 from 3 to 6 on for call.
Well, he's swinging the bat well since coming up from AAA and now flashing a little leather. You see him shuffle off the bag, hold his ground, and then leave his feet to catch that hot shot. Nice accurate throw to nail the lead runner. No panic. Didn't try to be too quick, making sure he keeps that runner out of scoring position.
Now Beltran, the runner for Holiday.
Smart baseball play there. That's the kind of play sometimes a guy will rush, try to make a great play to get to and make an errant throw.
Holiday has a single and a walk in 3 trips. Looking at ball 1. Little chop hit slowly. Lowry in. And the throw not in time. Holiday reaches with an infield hit. Beltran going to second.
Fans not happy with the call by Mark Carlson down there at first base. Holiday, big man, but he moves pretty well. Solely hit ground ball. And it's awfully close, but it looked like he was safe.
Did on that replay.
Yeah, I think so.
Cardinals getting several of those types of hits tonight. Not hit well, but hit strategically. And now the inning keeps going for Alan Craig. He had the RBI single in the 3rd inning, 1 for 3. Hit the ball well. Caught on the warning track by Schaefer in the 5th out in left center field. That's a better slider than some of the other ones David has thrown this inning. A strike 1 call. Mike Matheny and the Redbirds have called up right-handed reliever Fernando Salas to take the place of the injured lefty starter Jaime Garcia tonight. That's in for strike 2.
Time to time, it looks to me like David's arm drops a little bit and his slider flattens out, and that's when he elevates the fastball. The last 2 pitches a little bit better, getting back on top. That allows him to drive the ball down in the zone, and it'll put a little more bite on his slider too.
Oh, 2 to Alan Craig. Craig has gaudy numbers. Slugging percentage over .740. This grounder bounces foul past Oquendo at 3rd. Beltran has driven in 2 tonight. He's the runner at 2nd. It's Holiday at 1st. Matheny says in a story tonight online that the Cardinals have some ideas as far as who's going to replace Garcia in their rotation, but for now they're just going with an extra pitcher in the bullpen and figure that out when they get closer to that day that they need a starter. Foul back.
Shelby Miller, he's their top pitching prospect, isn't he?
That's right.
Is he on that list of candidates?
Not sure. It sounds as if the story hints at maybe having somebody in the bullpen now start. They had Michael Plato, who came in and pitched 2 1/3 innings the game that Garcia started Tuesday night, and he's been a starter, so perhaps he'll get a call.
They're 4-4 with a 5.18 ERA right now with their AAA club down in Memphis.
1-2. Carpenter pitched only 4 times when he was at Oklahoma City. Well, last year he was really dealing for the Astros, striking out 29 in 27 innings with a 2.93 ERA, bringing about talk of him being a possible closer. Brad Mills had an interesting statement on Wednesday after Garcia had been knocked around about, it's going to be interesting to see where he winds up or something like that. So he obviously was clued in that something wasn't quite right with Garcia. Foul back, still 1-2. His velocity was down. That was one thing.
It was down, not a lot, but his fastball was off a little bit, and he was just forcing it. You could tell, when a pitcher, the ball's jumping out of his hand, the delivery's nice and easy. And it seemed like Garcia was just trying to force it to home plate, like he's trying to get through something.
1-2 on Allen Craig. Foul back. One thing the Cardinals did with Craig was lowered his hands a little bit. He used to have his hands higher and kind of pointed the barrel of the bat back toward the pitcher, a little bit like Gary Sheffield. So this lower hand position enables him to get around more on an inside fastball.
And hand position never impeded Sheffield's ability to get around on a fastball.
It really did.
My goodness.
Nope. He had one of the quickest bats around, didn't he? It was incredible. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Snyder goes out to talk with Carpenter. Yeah, just watching him set up to swing, it just appeared that he would be vulnerable, but Gary could get around on those pitches. This will be the 9th pitch coming by Carpenter to Craig. Carpenter's thrown a total of 37 pitches in the game, 26 strikes.
He's having the same problems that Jay had, just having a hard time finishing hitters off, getting the ball put in play early. Deep counts, foul balls.
That's ball 3. And the full count will mean the runners will take off. Beltran and Holiday, and Carpenter looks to make a big pitch. The Astros have J.D. Martinez, Wallace, and Johnson due up in the last of the inning. Runners on their way, and it's ball 4 to load the sacks. Craig takes the walk. That's number 6 of the night for Astros pitchers.
A lot of work for Carpenter, and now Brad Mills out of the dugout. It's a little backdoor slider, front door slider actually, that just sat on the inside corner. Tough pitch to get called though.
Well, Brad Mills brought in Carpenter with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 5th inning. And now he's going to make another move with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 5-2 Cardinals. Back in a moment.
on Fox. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Bart. There's a look at the vote totals so far. Dan Uggla leading at second base. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop in the National League, where Astros fans are hoping for some inroads by Altuve and Lowry in the vote totals.
When's the last time the Astro had somebody voted to the All-Star?
Boy, it's been a while, hasn't it? I'm going to have to check on that. Reiner Cruz comes in. He's 1-0 with a 3.12 ERA. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Facing David Freese.
Very similar situation that Carpenter had. Although the hitter's a little bit more dangerous with Freese in there as opposed to Green. No margin for error. A well-placed strike one would be a good idea.
That's strike one.
Ironically enough, the same exact pitch that was just called ball 4 on the previous hitter.
Well, it's a different guy. David Freese, 222 with the bases loaded in his career. Now it's 0-2. As Cruz snaps off a slider. Reiner, 25 years old, inheriting Beltran and Holiday.
Freese struck out 3 times in the game last night. He's 1 strike away from doing it again tonight.
Slider off the plate makes it 1-2. Yeah, a lot of people like that news. Hey, you've just inherited blank. Relievers inheriting 3 base runners, not so much.
Yeah, that's an inheritance you'd rather turn down. No, thank you. Let somebody else have it. Good try.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Reiner Cruz hasn't pitched since last Thursday at Colorado. And he comes in with the bases loaded. That's kind of his role in the bullpen, but that doesn't make it easy. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Lance Berkman started in the 08 All-Star game, so he would be the last guy voted in by the fans.
I was thinking of that earlier when they had the ceremony with Carlos Correa down on the field. It was 1997 when we had Lance up in the radio booth. He was the first-round pick of the Astros.
Oh, yeah. Big 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded, runners moving, and he struck him out. Same result Carpenter got with the bases loaded in the 5th. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 left, 5-2 Cardinals.
the first overall pick of the 2012 Major League Baseball Draft. Carlos Correa, welcome to Houston.
Thank you. I'm really having fun right here in Houston. The fans are great. I feel like I'm at home right now.
Well, it's been a long, kind of a whirlwind day for you, but you did get your contract signed. First of all, what did it mean to you? How important is it for you to get that done and get it out of the way?
Well, it's important. We get to a deal early, so I just want to play baseball, reach the big leagues the quickest that I can, so I can represent well the organization, and that's all about, to reach the big leagues.
And one of the things you got to do today was go out on the field, got a uniform on, took a little batting practice, took some ground balls and got to meet some of the current Astros. What was that like?
That was exciting to be there on the field, playing with all those players. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I met Altuve. He's a great guy, such a great person. Just having fun over there, getting some BPs, taking ground balls, doing the routine every day.
So as the week goes on, now you'll go back to Puerto Rico, and then you will go through your high school graduation Monday, right?
That's right. My graduation will be held on Sunday. I will be there with my class, so I'm really excited to be there and just enjoy that moment over there.
And you will graduate high school with a 4.0 grade point average. How much did that mean to you, Carlos, to finish with the 4.0 and get that high school diploma?
That means a lot because I had a balance between school and baseball, so I made them both. I made baseball, I practiced a lot, I worked hard to be a great player like I'm right now, and I make good at school too. So I keep my 4.0 GPA since I was younger, and I'm really grateful for that, for being a good student and a good baseball player.
And then you'll report Tuesday to Florida, the Gulf Coast League. Is that correct?
That's correct. I will report on Tuesday. I'm really excited to be there and to play for the Houston Astros.
And the journey will begin there, guys. Carlos, best of luck to you. Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Impressive young men, guys. Back up to you.
He really is very focused. A nice young man coming from a good family, and it's going to be fun to watch him progress. After the 4-pitch walk to J.D. Martinez, the 5th straight ball of the inning by Lance Lynn came to Brett Wallace, who doubled and scored in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. And the Astros trailing 5-2. They want to get something moving here against Lynn, who's shooting for win number 9 of the year. There's his first strike of the inning, and it's 1-1. Chris Johnson on deck. In Lynn's career, he is 6-0 against teams in the Central Division with a 1.61 ERA. Good movement there. It takes the count to 1-2 on Wallace.
And that fastball down around the knees. He beat Wallace for back-to-back changeups back in the 3rd to strike him out. Just like that, there he goes again.
9 strikeouts for Lynn.
Sometimes the way a team pitches an individual will affect the way an individual will pitch a guy. In other words, earlier in this series, the Cardinals with a lot of hard stuff in on Wallace, and it looks like now they're convinced that they've sped his bat up with all that hard stuff in, including the first at bat when Wallace turned on an inside slider or cutter, and you've seen a lot of changeups since then.
That's Lynn's strikeout high for the year with 9. Chris Johnson with an RBI double to right in the 2nd is 1 for 2 now. Chris looks at ball 1. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm just thinking about the Astros' previous #1 overall picks. Lefty starter Floyd Bannister and third baseman Phil Nevin. Nevin blossomed after he left Houston. Bannister was traded for Craig Reynolds to Seattle. Fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There you see bullpen action with Victor Marte warming up. Bogusevic on deck. The Astros scored in the first and second, led it 2-0 until the Cardinals got 3 in the third. Strike 3 call. That's 10 strikeouts for Lynn.
Took a while for CJ to digest that fact.
Yes, it did.
And busting that one over the outside corner. CJ perhaps thought it was off the plate.
Bogusevic has struck out both times tonight.
So we're hitting some balls hard early in this game, but from the third inning on, not so much. Not an easy game to pitch either if you're Lance Lynn. Some of the innings have been so long, hanging out in that dugout.
Lynn's thrown 98 pitches, 59 for strikes. Chris Snyder's on deck. Tampa Bay Rays are batting in the ninth, leading the Yankees 5-2 at Yankee Stadium. One hop off the glove of Green into right field, and it carries out to Beltran, who fires to third, and safe there. JD Martinez just continues on to third base. Beltran had a shot at him, but his throw was offline. And Bogusevic hit a wicked ball at Green and tried to flag it down on the short hop, and it caromed on out into right field.
This ball had a lot of topspin on. You see that top hand come through from Bogusevic to get on top of that pitch, and then this ball just jumps up on Green. Plays it off to the side a little bit. Opted not to risk dental work.
It's ruled a single by Bogusevic. And now the Astros get the potential tying run to the plate in Chris Snyder. He had a line drive single to left in the second and grounded out to second in the fourth. That was hit number 6 for the Astros. The Cardinals have had 8. Justin Maxwell comes out to the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. Reiner Cruz. Action in the Astros bullpens. And those fans in orange cheering. They seem to be in matching orange tonight. There's ball 1.
We got you. Yeah, it feels like it's 10-2 with all the base runners that the Cardinals have had.
It does. Cardinals have left 9. That's foul. Last night it was the Astros leaving men on base to the tune of 13 total, scoring 3 runs on 12 hits.
Snyder well out in front of that one. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with Lynn earlier. It's a difficult game to pitch, but usually it's a trade-off you'll take because those long innings means your team is scoring. But you know, again, it feels like a game where it should be more like 8-2 with all the traffic they've had. He's now one bad pitch away from being in a tie ball game.
It's Brandon Lyon warming up for Houston. In the air, out of play. 1-2. The Astros' last 2 homestands have gone 6-3 and 6-2. They've had only 1 losing homestand all year. That was a 3-game homestand. They went 1-2 against the Dodgers. They're 2-3 on this group of games at home. These two teams through the first 5 games against each other had scored exactly the same number of runs against each other, 26. In the dirt. The appeal went to first. They ring him up on a swing. And Snyder called out on the appeal to Mark Carlson for strikeout number 11 for Lynn. No runs a hit. 2 men stranded. 5-2 St. Louis.
stylish and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. And by AT&T, rethink possible.
AT&T U-verse brings you this reverse replay. We look back at the debut in Houston of Carlos Correa, #1 draft choice, signing a contract earlier, taking batting practice, taking ground balls. 17-year-old from Puerto Rico. General Manager Jeff Luhnow, Bobby Heck, and others on the field with Carlos as the fans greet him here at Minute Maid Park. He said during his press conference he had been in Major League stadiums before, but was certainly looking forward to this one. First trip here.
The Royals at least worked him out at their ballpark. Big kid, 6'4", wiry, strong. He'll fill out even more and add more power. There's some that feel like he may ultimately move to third base. He's not among that group, though. He said, nope, I'm a shortstop, and his intention is to play that position his entire career. Time will tell.
Talk with those scouts, the two flanking him there in the stands, who scouted him more than any other Astros scouts. Boy, were they thrilled. Big day for them as well. Reiner Cruz back out to the mound. Yadier Molina leads it off in the 7th inning. Molina has a fly ball to left and 2 walks in this game. That's just a big time for a scout who's followed a guy for a couple of years to be there when his guy is the #1 overall pick. There's ball 1. And they've, of course, become pretty close down through the years. Now they visit during this Major League game after the contract is signed. $22,264 is the attendance tonight. Finale of the homestand. The Astros taking off for 10 days. Reiner Cruz delivering inside. It's 3 balls, no strikes.
Molina threatening to walk for the 3rd time tonight. He came into this game having walked 12 times all year, but really hasn't had a whole lot to swing at here. Certainly not in this at bat.
Strike 3-1. Scout who had followed Carlos Correa said he began really seriously following him when he was 16 years old. Eduardo Sanchez warming up now. And the appeal is for a swing.
Debt of gratitude to both Molina and the first place umpire. This ball's about 1.5 feet inside. He's tired of walking.
He hits one past the diving Brett Wallace into the right field corner. Bogusevic over to hold him to a single. And the Cardinals get the leadoff man aboard in the 7th inning.
Nice to have that kind of speed in right field where you can play your first baseman that far off the line to help take away the hole, and the ball down the line doesn't go for extra bases because of Bogusevic's speed to get over there and cut it off.
Tyler Green singled and scored in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3.
I think it's fairly typical for scouts now to be on guys as young, young high school players, 9th and 10th graders.
Yeah.
Kid's playing varsity baseball as a 9th grader. He's got a pretty good skill set. White Sox first caught wind of Harold Baines when he was in Little League. Bill Vex saw him play Little League, and he said, wow, one of these days I'm going to get that guy, and they made him their #1 pick in 1977.
Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, one issue with Byron Buxton was the level of competition in which he played in Georgia. And I was asking the Astros scout there in Puerto Rico, what about the level of competition for Correa? He said it was good. He said there were a number of Puerto Ricans drafted pretty high this year. So we had seen him compete against good pitchers. course, you saw him play a number of games.
Yeah, throughout the history of the draft, there's been a lot of famous mistakes at the top of the draft. 1-1 overall or just first-round guys. But now, it's less likely to happen because there's so much more science involved in it, all the statistical stuff and biomechanical stuff, and the level of competition. These kids, they play in all these area code games, so even if they don't play real good high school competition in their league, they tend to go out and play summer ball against top-notch competition. And so if you're not sure about a young guy and you really like his tools and maybe he doesn't play against good competition or he gets walked all the time because he's so dangerous, he gets out there against, some kid who's humping it up there at 94 miles an hour and he hits it 400 feet, then you go, hey, yeah, this guy looks like he's legit. You don't have to see that very often to be sold on a guy.
Beautiful pitch, strike three.
And because of that, I think fewer mistakes are being made these days. Just in terms of evaluating the talent, you just never know what's going to happen with the kid injury-wise or how he's going to react to the pressure or the everyday rigors of professional baseball.
Second strikeout for Cruz. Now Shane Robinson, number 8 hitter, has scored 2 runs in this game after a walk and a single. Pitcher spot due up next. Lance Lynn out to the on-deck circle. No, it's Matt Adams actually to pinch hit for Lance Lynn. There's ball 1. Somebody asked Carlos Correa in his news conference today about, well, how do you feel about traveling and coming to Florida to play and leaving your family, being gone from home? He said, well, I've been traveling for a while now, and that's his pursuit of this baseball life. He has been on different teams that have taken him away from his home, so he was looking forward to the challenge. Molina's jumping around off first and drawing some attention.
Besides, he'll be able to afford plane tickets to bring his family over to Florida if he wants.
There's Matt Adams on deck. Fernando Salas just joined the Cardinal team tonight in their bullpen. The throw goes over to first.
Pirates beat the Reds 5-4 in 10 innings tonight. Pirates took 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati in Cincinnati.
They've been pretty spunky for a while now. That's a drive to left field, headed for the seats, but it comes down off the wall. No, it is a home run. It hit the foul pole. That's a 2-run homer by Shane Robinson. And the Cardinals lead 7-2 as Robinson hits number 2 of the season, giving him 9 runs batted in. Second long ball of the night by the Redbirds, their 73rd of the year.
Shane Robinson just hit a 316-foot home run or thereabouts.
With that home run hit by Robinson, another $10,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. And now Mike Matheny is changing after the home run by Robinson. Gives him a 5-run lead, and right off the foul pole, he'll go with a different pinch hitter. It's like Adron Chambers. He's going to save Matt Adams.
We might go 3 months without a ball hitting these poles. We've had 3 in this series.
Yeah. Adron Chambers, the batter.
Unfortunately, only one of them was good for chicken.
Yeah. Has to be the home team. There's ball 1 to Chambers. 6 for 22 for a .273 batting average. No homers. He's driven in 3. Chambers drove in a couple in the first game of this series. He's 1 for 5 in the series.
So don't bring your ticket into a Chick-fil-A tomorrow trying to get a sandwich because the opposition went deep off the foul pole. It's not going to work.
They don't honor it. And Doug Brocail comes out. Rainer Cruz got out of big trouble in the 6th inning, coming in with the bases loaded, 2 out, striking out Freese, but now a single, a strikeout, a 2-run homer in the 7th for Cruz. Redbirds have 7 runs on 10 hits. Even without Lance Berkman and others who have been in and out of the lineup for the Cardinals, their offensive numbers look very good for the season, even though they didn't look good in that New York series. 3 balls, no strikes. It's their pitching. They were 10th in ERA when the game started. Joel Hanrahan got that win for the Pirates in 10, 5-4 at Cincinnati. 3 balls and a strike.
They didn't beat Chapman, did they?
They beat Chapman.
They got a hit off of him?
He gave up a run.
Wow.
Let's see. We'll check his line. That's a first.
He gave up 2 hits and a run. Now has an ERA of 0.30.
Hanrahan got a blown save and a win. He had given up a run in the bottom of the 9th. Chris Resop wound up getting a save, his first of the year for Pittsburgh. Foul back.
Give that fan a contract.
Well, there'll be a lot of contracts signed next few weeks. Might as well give out another one. That Pittsburgh club is now 2 games over 500. Cincinnati is 6 over. Swing and a miss by Chambers, and a strikeout, number 3 for Cruz. Bart?
Thanks, Bill. I want to remind fans that they can follow the Astros with MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or go to Astros.com for details. Back to you, Bill.
They are texting away down there. Thanks, Bart. 7-2 ball game. 2 outs now. And Rafael Furcal's the batter. Furcal 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in. And there's ball 1. Lance Lynn in 6 innings allowed the Astros 6 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2, fanned 11. Line shot into center field for Call's 3rd hit of the game. Time for a look at our brown hand center great hands of the game. Red Wallace with a diving play to his right, and then he gets the fourth play at second. Nicely done by Wallace. Back in the 6th inning on a ball hit by Carlos Beltran, forcing Furcal. Beltran coming up now with a 2 RBI night, including a homer. Takes ball 1. I'm just thinking back to the 2004 playoffs when Carlos Beltran in an Astros uniform was doing damage against the Cardinals right here and in St. Louis. He had a monstrous series. 2 balls, no strikes.
He made it look so easy.
Boy, didn't he? He's such a fluid athlete. He absolutely exploded in that postseason in 2004. Hit 4 homers in the division series and 4 in the league championship series. 3 balls, no strikes. And I remember they were marveling about the home run he hit off Julian Tavares, which was about, what, 6 inches off the ground, and he just hammered it. And Tavares said the next day that he went in and watched the video of the pitch, and he said, I haven't seen anybody else do that on that pitch. Beltran takes the walk.
The Astros pitchers just having a hard time finding the mark tonight. They've thrown 80 more pitches than have the Cardinal pitchers.
Holiday has 2 hits and a walk. 11 St. Louis hits in the game. Atlanta and Mike Minor beat Miami 8-2. Minor going to 3-4, beating Mark Burley, who's 5-6. Holiday takes a look at ball 1. Michael Bourne hit his 6th home run for the Braves. 6 home runs already.
That'd be a career high for Michael.
I think it is. Breaking pitch comes in for a strike to Holiday. That makes it 1-1. White Sox are batting in the last of the ninth, tied with Toronto 3-3.
Yeah, play 18 innings. Wear out that bullpen.
That's right.
Mercy.
It's 2 balls and a strike.
The great Thurman Munson would have been 65 years old today.
Oh, really? He was Craig Biggio's favorite. 35 pitches for Reiner Cruz, killed in a plane crash. He was flying his own plane.
Had gone home for an off day, right?
I believe
1979.
3 balls and a strike. You remember the player who was flying his own plane in New York? He was with his flight instructor, I believe, and had it.
Corey Lytle, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Corey Lytle, that's right. Wesley Wright warming up. Fastball there for a strike, make it 3-2 now.
This date in 1966, we were talking about how the draft has changed over the years. The Mets had the first overall pick. They passed on Reggie Jackson. They selected catcher Steve Chilcott.
Ouch.
6 years in the minor leagues, never made it to the big leagues. He became the first #1 pick never to play in the major leagues. Of course, the draft started just the year prior. Rick Monday, the first ever #1 pick. That's pretty darn close.
Ball 4 for Holiday, and the bases are loaded.
When you've been misfiring as much as the Astros pitchers had, you just tend not to get those calls. So number 6 there. If you're clipping along, throwing a lot of strikes, you get the umpire kind of into that strike mode, you probably get that call.
Long night for Brad Mills. Now bases loaded again. 2 outs, and it's Alan Craig. Craig with an RBI single on a walk tonight in 4 trips. Then he hit a deep drive caught by Schaefer on the warning track in left center in the 5th inning.
It's the kind of night where Snyder's turning around to the home plate umpire. Conrad, stay with me now. We'll get through this together. Come on.
It's ball 1. Craig, the 8th Cardinal to bat here in the 7th. Now Brad Mills is coming out. 39 pitches for Reiner Cruz. He's got to be gassed.
Following behind just about every hitter he has faced.
Hasn't pitched in a week. That's the difficulty of his role on the ball club right now. Sometimes goes several days between appearances. And then tries to be sharp as he comes in. This is the 3rd straight inning. The Cardinals have had the bases loaded, and we'll be right back. to the situation in the 5th inning. Jay Happ left with the bases loaded and 2 outs. You see Wesley Wright. He's 0-1 with a 2.81 ERA. David Carpenter came in at that point. So Carpenter inheriting that bases loaded situation with 2 outs. Then Carpenter left in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And Reiner Cruz came in there. Now Reiner Cruz leaves in the 7th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And it's Wesley Wright.
That's those bullpen guys enhancing their inherited runner stranded stat tonight, if nothing else. Here's the workload.
39 for Carpenter, 39 for Cruz. And Wright faces Craig with a 1-0 count. A liner to left field. That's in for a hit. 1 run home to make it 8-2 on the RBI single by Craig, giving him 26 runs batted in. For call scoring, Beltran to 3rd, Holiday to 2nd.
Wesley Wright, his primary role is as a left-handed specialist to come in and get lefties out. He's proven in the past, though, he's capable of getting right-handed hitters out. But this is a situation now where Brad Mills is just trying to get outs, and he's trying to preserve as many guys in his bullpen as he can for the weekend in Chicago. This one seems to be a lost cause.
David Freese has 3 punch-outs and a walk. And he rips a grand slam. A 12-2 Cardinals as Freese tees off on his 11th home run of the season. That gives him 38 runs batted in. Cardinals get their 3rd grand slam of the year, and they are involved in a blowout right now. With that grand slam, another home run in this game. That is the 3rd for the Cardinals. Another $10,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. And the Astros also had 1 home run, so that's 4 homers in the game. Michael Kadire hit a grand slam in Colorado against the Astros. That's the 2nd they've allowed.
Revenge exacted by Freese, who had struck out 3 times last night, 3 more times tonight. Well, at least we're raising a lot of money for charity.
You know, I don't remember having this many home runs in an Astros game in that prostate cancer challenge in recent years. Do you?
I don't remember what I had for lunch, so I can't speak with any degree of certainty on that one.
That one knocks the mask off Chris Snyder.
That says it all for Chris the night he's having back there, having to catch this. Fellow catcher did it to him too. So come on, man.
Yeah. Reiner Cruz in 1 inning allowed 3 hits, 5 runs, walking 2, fanning 3. Molina led off the inning with a single to right, batting now for the 2nd time with a 12-2 lead. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And the Astros head for one of the top home run parks in the major leagues, U.S. Cellular, after this. Molina walks. He's been on twice this inning, and his 4th time in a row reaching base in this game. And the base on ball total reaches 9 for Astros pitching in this game. Tyler Green with a single in the 3rd inning is 1 for 4. He shoots a liner. What a play by Altuve, diving to his right. Altuve robs Green to win the Cardinals' 7th inning. They send 11 to the plate, and they make it a huge frame, including a grand slam. 12-2. They've had a homer and a sac fly tonight. And it's Tony Cruz, the new catcher for Yadier Molina. Molina on base 4 times in this game. And they have a pitching change as well, as Lance Lynn is in line for win number 9 of the season. 6 innings of 6-hit 2-run baseball, walking 2, fanning 11. Justin Maxwell getting ready to hit against Eduardo Sanchez, who has been in 9 games with no decisions and an ERA of 3 and worked 2/3 of an inning last night.
Not a big guy, but he's got a big arm. Saw him light up that radar gun with a mid-90s fastball. Good hard breaking pitch. A little wobbly in terms of the command of his stuff. So if you're keeping a scorecard at home, God bless you.
Yeah.
And put Cruz in the 9-hole, the catcher, and then put Sanchez in Molina's spot in the batting order.
Okay. Now we have Justin Maxwell with 3 pinch homers this season, and the team record is 5, set by Cliff Johnson in 1974. He's batting for the pitcher, Wesley Wright. Maxwell's been in the starting lineup quite a bit recently, in addition to pinch hitting. He was 0 for 5 last night. And he hit a home run and did a little bat flip in the 2nd inning Tuesday night. Cardinals apparently taking issue with that and drilling him with a pitch by Mitchell Boggs in the 8th. He had another hit in that game as well as the homer. One ball, 1 strike. Wesley Wright, 1/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. He had a walk and no strikeouts. That's in the air, and let's see, the first sacker. Craig is going over into foul territory. Snags it. 1 out.
Craig concentrating, staying with that ball the whole way, and ultimately putting it away.
Jordan Schaefer's the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The White Sox got a run in the bottom of the 9th to clip Toronto 4-3, giving Addison Reed the win, and Francisco Cordero took the loss. White Sox at 32-25. The Astros' next opponent tomorrow night in Chicago. Fouled away, there's strike 1. Paul Konerko returned to the lineup, and he DH'd tonight. He had 2 hits and a walk. He's hitting .371. One of the Astros' opponents in the 05 World Series. Have to see if anybody else is left. Well, A.J. Przinsky was on that White Sox club in 05.
Pretty good year.
Jake Peavy went 6 tonight. He gave up 2 earned runs. 2 balls, a strike. Eduardo Sanchez signed in 05 as a free agent. He's from Venezuela. Fouled away, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes with Altuve on deck.
It's one of those nights. Molina doesn't walk, he's walked 3 times. Robinson doesn't hit home runs, he went deep.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. That's 12 strikeouts for Cardinal pitching.
Turning the table on the Astros, who punched out a lot of Cardinals last night. This is 96 with a lot of horizontal movement. You see all that run there and that two-seam fastball. It's pretty impressive to get that kind of movement on a 96-mile-an-hour heater.
Altuve is 0 for 3.
A lot of times pitchers will sacrifice velocity to get movement. Not so much there with Sanchez.
There's strike one with Lowry on deck.
Should have known it was going to be a weird night when Altuve punched out his first 2 times up.
Yeah. The Astros have 6 hits. Oh, and 2.
Has a little sink at 95.
Tampa Bay knocked off the Yankees 7-3 in New York. David Price going to 8-3 with a 2.40 ERA with that win over CC Sabathia. He's 7-3.
1 home run in the game. Russell Martin of the Yankees hit number 6.
Tampa Bay a half game in front of the Yankees now. For call backhands. Goes out a hustling Altuve. In a 1-2-3 7th inning, the Cardinals maintain their 12-2 lead. The Cardinals lead it. They're coming up in the 8th inning against pitcher number 5 for the Astros. He is veteran right-hander Brandon Lyon. Brandon 0-1 with a 2.42 earned run average in 22 1/3 innings.
Well, it has been a dismal night for Astros pitching so far tonight. Nobody has gotten through this unscathed. See if Brandon Lyon can be the first one to post a 0 here. It started good. Jay Happ was very good early on. 6 up, 6 down with 4 strikeouts. And then struggled a little bit in the 3rd, misfiring some. Also some misfortune, boy. A couple of real soft hits, a bunt single, a little bloop single. He allowed 3 in that inning, and then a home run by Beltran in the 5th. That closed his ledger. 4 2/3, 4 runs allowed by Happ. He had been going along great. His last 4 starts, he had a 2.13 ERA. So maybe just a little bump in the road for Jay here tonight. He'll get back on track. Next time out, hopefully in San Francisco, a park that really suits him well.
Boy, it does.
Good yard, good park for a fly ball pitcher. School's out, kids are bored, so they're putting popcorn containers on their heads. Maybe it's a rally cap. Wrong team's batting.
It's 1-1. Shane Robinson has scored 3 runs out of the number 8 spot in the lineup tonight with a walk, a single, and a homer. Rolls this one out to Altuve's left. And over to Wallace, 1 out. Adron Chambers up for the second time. He struck out in the 7th inning. Nice of owner Bill DeWitt of the Cardinals and GM John Mozeliak to present some World Series rings to people like Jeff Luhnow and Joe Patini from last year. There's ball 1. Sig Meidel might have.
Yeah, Sig got one.
How about Mike Elias?
Yeah, I believe he got one too.
Okay. Quite a few rings to present.
The Cardinal World Series ring has a squirrel on it because they had this kind of rally squirrel that ran across home plate last year. So that, I know it was in playoff games or late in the season. I don't remember the story, but so they put the squirrel on the World Series ring.
Yeah, that's different. One of a kind. 3 balls, no strikes. They're gaudy, aren't they?
I haven't even seen them.
Oh,
but they're always gaudy.
Yeah, they are. These championship rings in all sports are humongous.
Meant for display as opposed to being worn, I think.
You bet. That's another walk, and that has been a real problem for Astros pitchers tonight.
I like Terry Francona. He said the only time he wears his World Series ring is when he's trying to get a table at a restaurant. Just walk in and flash that.
Yeah.
He must be important. Here.
Daniel Descalso now is pinch hitting for Furcal. Furcal had 3 hits, drove in 2 runs, and scored a couple. That one gets by Snyder, and the runner will advance. Chambers going to second on a wild pitch.
These are the kind of games, it's no fun to come in and pitch in these games. There's nothing on the line. It's lopsided.
And unlike the other sports, in baseball, there's no clock. So,
in a lot of levels, there's a mercy rule that would have been invoked by now.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a boxing match, the Astros could have thrown in the towel and just said, okay, let's go move on to Chicago. We'll save our bullpen. We'll go play the White Sox. But the paying customers, they wouldn't buy into that.
No.
They're for 27 outs.
And they're going to get 27 outs. Lowry over to Wallace. Getting closer to out number 27.
Somewhat remarkably, there's not been an error in this game.
That is somewhat remarkable.
It's a slow pace with which it's been played. We make the point all the time. You know, when pitchers are crisp and they're working quickly, the defense behind them is usually better. In games like this, typically the play is a little sloppy, but it has not been.
Tony Cruz at 179 comes to the plate. He did the catching Tuesday night in the opener of the series. There's strike 1. And he went 2 for 4 in that game. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays, by virtue of their 7-3 win by David Price in New York, are back in first place. They move from 3rd into a tie for 1st with the Orioles. And the Yankees are in 2nd. A tightly bunched AL East. No balls, 2 strikes. You have a favorite in that division?
Well, I have a favorite in terms of the team I'd like to see win. That's
Who's that?
Toronto.
Okay.
It would be hard though to, you know, Batman.
Yeah.
I would. I'm going to guess that 2 of those clubs are going to make the postseason, maybe even 3.
If the season ended right now, they would have both the wild cards.
I figure Baltimore's going to fall off.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Struck him out to end the Cardinal 8th inning. 12-2 Redbirds. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, showing you the Jed Lowry home run in the first inning. Lance Lynn had struck out the first 2. He had an 0-2 count on Lowry. Lowry took it out to left field to give the Astros a 1-0 lead. Then they made it 2-0 on back-to-back doubles in the second by Wallace and Johnson. But Cardinals got 3 in the third, and they have just continued to score. So they lead it 12-2 as the Colt 45s watch.
Yeah, if the Astros could have cut off the jam there after the second inning, it would have been good.
Tyler Green now at shortstop. Daniel Descalzo at second base. New pitcher is Fernando Salas. With Matt Adams at first. And let's see, somebody's running across the outfield right now, so we'll be starting in a moment.
Oh, Craig has moved out to left.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that guy's still running across the outfield, so we'll wait for him to get settled. And it's Fernando Salas, 0-3 with a 6.32 ERA. Against Jed Lowry. Lowry 1 for 3 with strike 1. J.D. Martinez will be up next, and then Brett Wallace due to bat third in the Astros 8th inning.
Salas served as the closer for the Cardinals for a good chunk of last season. Finished with 24 saves. He was 5-6 with a good ERA. And his peripheral numbers were good too. The walk rate was down. The strikeouts good. So far this year, it's been anything but good with that 6.32 ERA.
He just got back from the minors tonight after leading the club in saves last year as they searched from Ryan Franklin through several other relievers. It's a liner to right, in for a hit. Chambers will play it off the wall. Lowry is into second with a double. Second extra base hit of the night. And he started the night with a .498 slugging percentage, and he has a homer and a double.
Go ahead and make him the Astro of the night.
Okay. 11 doubles for Jed.
Cut that two-seamer off and running out away from him. He got the head out in front of it and yanked it with authority into the right field corner. Comeback is on.
J.D. Martinez is 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball one high from Salas.
Fastball, slider, and a very good changeup for Salas. Velocity on his fastball, about major league average, right around 91, 92 miles an hour.
He gets a strike there to even the count at 1-1 on JD. Salas just turned 27. He was pitching in Mexico, and the Cardinals purchased his contract from Saltillo in 07. He's a native of that country. Some kicks away from Cruz, but not very far. 2 balls, 1 strike.
JD 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, but he's had good at bats. He hit the ball right on the screws in the third, one of the harder hit balls of the night. Line drive to left field.
Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, taking over for Dave Duncan. That one's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
JD Julio Daniel Martinez. We were talking about the draft earlier on. He was a late pick. He was what, 20th round, I think?
Yep. Sounds right.
Yeah, 20th round of the 2009 draft.
Yeah, and we talk about first rounders so much. How about those real pearls in the later rounds like JD? 3 balls, 2 strikes. You know, I was talking with Mike Elias about the action in the draft room with the scouts. He said it really is good to have the scouts there in the room, especially for the later round picks. Get a lot of interaction from them. Foul tip and a strikeout, 1 out. And that's what they did in St. Louis, and Jeff Luhnow brought that to Houston. So you get down around the 38th round when, you know, they're drafting their sisters, but it's good to have that kind of input from the scouts who have seen these guys.
Well, a lot of times you're looking for roster fillers and you want good guys. You want guys that can play the game a little bit, that aren't going to be trouble. The player doesn't want to hear that he's been drafted as a roster filler, but to a certain extent, some of those really late round picks, that's kind of what the thinking is. And sometimes those guys surprise you. Al Cowens, I believe, was an 84th round pick.
Ooh.
Back when the draft went forever.
Al Cowens, there's a good name. Broken bat looper, caught. Scalzo takes a look at second. No double play there. Well, Mike Piazza was what, 62nd round?
64th, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He might be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting. There'll be a lot of stories coming out after this draft as to how clubs handled it with the different rules. And, you know, I think a lot of high school kids probably fell a lot later than they would have in previous drafts, because clubs just felt like, you know, this kid's probably going to go to college, and we're not going to have enough money to compete with a college scholarship right now. But, you know, as the kid lingered there, then they said, all right, let's grab him anyway and see. Maybe he'll change his mind and want to come out and play.
Chris Johnson 1 for 3 with an RBI. And teams can't come along and draft somebody in the 12th, 13th round, then pay him first round money now. It doesn't work that way anymore, but that had been done in the past. And there were some stories about the Red Sox having done that. And, you know, teams really that were drafting low would have a good draft because they could do that. There's a drive to right field. Chambers back in for the catch. So Theo Epstein with the Cubs had to change his style a little bit, and going to the 9th inning, it's 12-2 Cardinals.
Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And don't touch that dial. The score may not be fun, but what's going to be on the field here in this inning might be. Let's go with Bill Brown. He'll tell you about it.
All right, check this out. Chris Johnson is now playing right field for the Astros. Chris Snyder is playing first base. Red Wallace is playing third base. Brian Bogusevic is pitching to Jason Castro. First game in the major leagues for Brian as a pitcher, but he pitched at Tulane and was the first-round draft choice, and then was a pitcher, of course, in pro ball for a while, and then converted to position player.
So something he always dreamed of doing, pitching in the big leagues, and he's going to get his chance right here.
First Astro to pitch as a position player since Kevin Cash in May of 2010 at Cincinnati. He's asking home plate umpire if he can go to his mouth. It's been a while since he's been out there. Years since he's pitched. And it's Matt Adams taking ball one. Brandon Lyon in one inning, allowed no hits, no runs, had a walk and a strikeout. Adams has looked good in this series. One ball, one strike.
As much as he'd like to air it out, I'm sure Doug Roquel and Brad Mills said, look, don't hurt yourself. Don't think of yourself as pitching again. Think of yourself as an outfielder that's giving us a little break by pitching an inning for us, saving our bullpen, and at the same time having a little fun on a miserable night at the ballpark.
Yeah, a little comic relief never hurt. Of course, the worst was Jose Canseco pitching because he blew out his elbow. Pitching for the Texas Rangers. It's 2-2.
And Jason Lane was a two-way player in college, and he's now trying to make a comeback as a pitcher.
Fly ball, center field. Maxwell in. Maxwell slides and catches it. Good play for Bogusevic as Maxwell backs up his outfield mate.
Alex, I got you. I got you, partner.
That's one down. Alan Craig comes up now. He's 2 for 4. Up to 373. He rips a line drive hit to left field. Craig's third hit of the night, and he's on for the fourth time. That's 14 hits for the Redbirds.
Craig with nowhere near the number of plate appearances needed to qualify to be among the league leaders.
Freese hit a grand slam in the 7th inning after striking out 3 times and walking. First slam for Freese. There's strike 1 to him. Bogusevic was the 24th player drafted in the 05 draft. Pitched for 4 years in the minors with a 5.11 ERA. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to Tri-City, Lexington, Corpus Christi. Deep drive to left field, and this one is going to reach the seats. The Cardinals get long ball number 4 of the game. It's 14-2 on the 2-run shot by Freese. He now has 6 runs batted in with the 2 homers, and another home run. Another $10,000 raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org.
Living proof how quickly your fortunes can change in this game.
Yes, it is.
Previous 6 at-bats were all strikeouts.
Now Stephen Hill comes up to pinch hit. Stephen, native of Houston, went to Langham Creek High School. Stephen F. Austin. And he fouls it back. Strike one.
A little wrinkle in one, Bogey. Have some fun. Throw a changeup or something.
Freese now with 12 homers, 40 runs batted in, thanks to his 6 RBI night. 1-1 to Stephen Hill. It's 2 balls and a strike. Salas in 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs. Popped up. Here's Snyder. Whoa! Pop-ups are tougher at first base than they are sometimes for a catcher if that's your only perspective on him. He's been catching all year, now playing a little first, and didn't come down in his mitt.
I think he stumbled a little bit, and then once that happened, not able to recover to make the catch. After a long, frustrating night behind the plate, this happens to him.
Oh, yeah, that's so he gets an error at first base. And it's Tyler Green. You can just imagine some ribbing maybe after the game or a few days down the road from here when the sting of this 14-2 defeat wears off a little bit. Bogusevic might be saying to his teammates, well, you guys didn't make any plays behind me. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and that's where you need your veterans to kind of step up. After a night like tonight with a young club, you want to try to take the pressure off a little bit. There he goes, a little changeup.
Yeah.
Something.
1-2.
I remember playing for Tom Kelly in Minnesota, and TK just he had such great touch. You know, he knew when to turn up the intensity, when to back off. A lot of times after a blowout loss like this, when there'd be this kind of somber mood in the clubhouse, he'd come through turning on the TVs and the music, you know, just kind of sending the message, hey boys, it's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
Go get them tomorrow.
Cardinals trying to go 2 games over 500 at 30-28 with a win tonight. Maxwell for the second out. Shane Robinson hit a 2-run homer in the 7th. He's been on 3 times. He's scored 3 times. Well, with Cincinnati losing, the Cardinals stand to pick up a game. A hit to right field. What a night for a number 8 hitter. Hill to second on the single by Robinson. 3 hits and a walk tonight. Chambers has struck out and walked. Now the Reds losing, they're now 31-25. Pittsburgh and St. Louis moving up a notch to 2 games out. The NL Central is not on a pace to supply a wild card team this year. But it's still, you know, so early, and really nobody has that great a record other than the Dodgers in the National League. Giants at .561 coming into today had the second best winning percentage, or the best by a potential wild card team as of right now, which doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they've been playing good ball lately. Beat the Padres 6-3 today. Behind Matt Cain, he picked up his 7th win. They had won 8 out of 10 prior to today's game.
Still 0-2 to Chambers.
One of the really interesting things will be to see if Washington is able to hang in there. They've given every reason to make you believe that they will. Their pitching is so good.
Mm-hmm. And then what will happen with Strasburg and his innings count late in the year? 1-2, and will they add a player or two for the stretch drive? Foul back by Chambers. Still 1-2.
I'm sure Brad Mills was hoping this would go much more quickly than it has. Brian has thrown 26 pitches. Not that you're worried about an outfielder's pitch count, but you just don't want him to strain his arm.
Bounce to shortstop to Hopper, and Lowry to Altuve for the forced play to end the top of the 9th inning. The Redbirds adding to their lead with 2 runs, 3 hits, an error, 2 men left. It's 14-2 St. Louis. Ready for the bottom of the 9th inning. Pitcher number 4 has come in. Houston native Sam Freeman. And he's warming up to work and try to get these final 3 outs of the game. Brian Bogusevic giving up 3 hits, 2 runs in his pitching debut in the big leagues. And now Freeman trying to put the lid on this Cardinal win for Lance Lynn's 9th victory of the season. He has no decisions, a 7.71 ERA for 2 1/3 innings. Came in Tuesday night, worked an inning and a third in that game, and gave up 1 hit and 1 unearned run.
Yeah, threw the ball well, though. About 93, 94 miles an hour. Sweeping breaking ball. Came right after the hitters.
It's going to be Bogusevic leading it off. He's 1 for 3. Hit a smash off Tyler Green on into right field for his hit in the 6th inning. Chris Snyder's on deck, and Justin Maxwell's due up 3rd in the inning. Descalzo over to Adams. 1 pitch, 1 out for Freeman in the 9th. Chris Snyder singled in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3. If the Cardinals win, that squares the season series at 3 games each, and they will not be meeting again for a while, not until August in St. Louis. That's ball 1. August 21st through 23rd, the Redbirds will be back here one more time, September 24th through the 26th. That's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Snyder.
Those are the final home games of the year, that series with the Cardinals.
Okay. It's 1-2. Rain has arrived in Houston. That's a big story.
The weather fits the game.
In the air, and let's see who wants it. Shane Robinson. 2 outs. Maxwell's the batter now. Maxwell fouled out in the 7th inning. Redbirds at the end of a long road trip. This is their 10th game on the trip. They would be 4-6 with a win. Headed back home where they're 13-11. Not a great record at home for the Redbirds. Adams with a pitcher late breaking, tries to get there ahead of Maxwell and does for the final out. And the Cardinals take 2 out of 3 in this series. Adams taking care of that one for the final out of a 14-2 St. Louis win. With 5 home runs hit in tonight's game, a total of $50,000 has been raised in our game for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Final game of the homestand for the Astros gives them a 2-4 record for this grouping of 6 at home. Cardinals win it 14-2 tonight.